Hi, I'm Pugs Moran. This is the Rant, usually at noon. Sorry, I had a busy morning. Had to visit some people this morning, and so now we're getting a little bit of a late start, but that's okay. It's not going to be an abbreviated show. We're just going to do the full show. We're going to let it take us where it takes us. And what is that? We're going to discuss hot topics, current events, pop culture, maybe things going on in your lives, maybe how things going on in your lives relate to all these other things that we have already decided we're going to talk about. Current events and news at the top, chat room at the right. Let me say hi to the chat room. That's what we'll do here. Chat room. Once again, live from the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios. Chat room, guys, I'm sorry to keep you waiting. Let me see how far back I can go. Give my love. Send flowers. Sorry, folks. So, you know how I'm like a bit of a hypochondriac, or maybe not a hypochondriac. It can't be a hypochondriac if it's an allergy that occurs with regularity over the course of a 12-month year, right? It's just what it is it's irritating probably to hear me constantly giving you updates on my, nasal canal or sinus canal or whatever that is. But I'm feeling really good. So I thought, because I'd been feeling really bad the last couple of days, or weeks, actually. Just God, my God. I haven't been sleeping and all that kind of stuff. And that's honestly why we missed a bunch of shows last week. I mean, we missed them for legitimate reasons, but I probably could have done shows. I was just like, oh, I'm just going to stay in bed. So I wanted to announce that I'm feeling good, and I hope you are too. Barney's in the chat room. He's the first guy that I see. Hold on. Still don't have a magic mirror. All that's going to take for me to do this romper room bit where we start the show off by me holding up a mirror and saying I see and then actually naming the chat room. It's a Gen X romper room bit. All it's going to take is me going to a Dollar Tree and it'll just get one of those things. And I just haven't brought myself to do it. Not committed to the bit. That's what they would say. Hi, Barney. Barney's here first. KB is here. Sorry. Can do it this way. Respect and courtesies to you too, Barney. Kevin's in the chat room. Hi, Kev. I'm scared he's trapped inside this YouTube video and can't find the door. Yeah, I got a problem with YouTube there, Kev in the chat room. So yesterday, after the show, if you remember during yesterday's stream, by the way, we do this stream live from the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios on the beautiful south side of Chicago. We do this show every day for 5 years. And hold on a second. Guys, I'm sorry. We're having a little bit of a technical situation. I'm so distracted. Okay, so as I was saying, yesterday during the show, I told you about that SNL UK, the Saturday Night Live version that was being done, debuted on Saturday night there in London. I told you about how I wanted to do something on it. I'm like desperate to do something on it because it's like, I don't know, it's a topic that fascinates me. And apparently, though, it doesn't fascinate anybody else because I did these like big posts on this very subject on Sunday where I sort of laid out, okay, Saturday Night Live, the thing that we know, debuted in London on Saturday night. They're doing it in London now, the exact same thing. So anyway, it debuted in London, and I was going through what that looked like because I thought that might be interesting from the Yanks perspective, right? What was that? Did you hear that? It was almost an accent. I was like, from the Yanks. I didn't know if I should do like an English accent, but I was saying Yanks. Point is this, I did these elaborate posts and zero engagement. And don't go blaming Elon because it's zero engagement on Blue Sky. Zero engagement on my new Facebook page, which please, if you haven't migrated over to my new Facebook page, my new Facebook page is the Pugs Moran one with like 100 friends. Okay. All right. If you're interacting with the Pugs Moran page that has thousands of friends, you're on the wrong page. That's been hacked. That's being run by some guy in a cafe in Nigeria. That's not me. So please help me get more, help me rebuild what I've lost. I lost stuff. I lost pictures. I lost stuff. Anyway. So I made these posts about the SNL UK situation, about how fascinated I was, and it was like a real in-depth breakdown, and we watched the cold open, and then Tina Fey's monologue, and then she threw it to a pre-produced bit, and then I showed you the first sketch, and I was so into it. Zero engagement. Zero. It's like, this is something I am totally misconnecting with the general pop-up. And it's driving me a little crazy. I'm having a difficult time articulating. As you can hear, usually I think I'm pretty good with connecting with the mainstream and what they're interested in. That's kind of been my forte. But this time I'm missing. Nobody gives a shit. And I'm like, really? Nobody is interested on how they would do something that we're accustomed to? Okay, I guess maybe it's just me. So yesterday I told you during the show that I was going to do this big bit on it, and I was either going to do it at the end of yesterday's show and risk YouTube, slamming us and taking us off the air, or I would just end yesterday's live stream and then just record and schedule an individual thing on me doing the SNL UK breakdown. A couple of things that may on its own, be something that could get a little bit of traction on YouTube, I was thinking, without being attached to my much larger narcissistic daily endeavor, right? But I recorded it. I put a lot of work into it, and then YouTube immediately stuck it. So I'm pissed at YouTube. So yeah, I was trapped behind some form of YouTube door. Good day to you, Kevin. Adam's here. Hi, Adam. Maddie's here. She says, "Where's Pugs?" Well, I'm right here. Kevin also says, that's what I'm saying. He's trapped behind the video billboard we are seeing. What video billboard were you guys seeing? All right. Let's see. We said, hey, Mike is here. Mike, I love Mike. Mike representing Texas. Howdy, brother. Howdy, my man. Mike wants to know, did I do a show on Friday or Monday? No, yes. No show Friday. Yes, show Monday. And I enjoyed yesterday's show quite a bit. And I hope you did too, Mike, or chat room. And Mike, go enjoy it. Help me with my numbers, please. Text Utah. Pugs, I've fallen and I can't get up. Well, I don't know what to do for you, man. I'm just a screamer. There's my girl. Look at her. Look at her. It's my girl. Grew up together. She's been here from the very beginning. Always first in. That's my girl right there. Let's see. Anybody else checking in late? No. Oh, okay. Here we go. Fine, Maddie. Let's get right out of the box here, because you know what I'm going to open with? I'm going to open with a rant about gas prices. And let me tell you, that's going to make me upset, and it might just ruin the rest of the show. No, it won't, because we got some really fun stuff. We got some cool videos. We'll do a breakdown. We've got a story I missed from last week when I was being all inside my head. You know me. Literally with the sinuses and in other ways as well. I missed the story about the Bachelorette. The ABC, the Bachelorette. Oh my God, I've got such history with Bachelorettes, and because we used to do Pugs and Kelly for some reason. Our show was like a pipeline to the Bachelorette and to what else was it? American Idol, and all that. Anyway, I've partied with Bachelorettes. I got stories. So let's talk about what happened with this season of the Bachelorette. They just had to pull the plug on the whole thing because, well, their Bachelorette that they were presenting to America as Little Miss Perfect turns out to be a crazy bitch. They're not all. One, I'll tell you about one who was like, whoa. Anyway, moving on. We'll talk about that today as well. But let's do Maddie. Maddie says, I watched the SNL UK episode last night. I really liked it. It reminded me of the old vintage UK TV shows I used to love, like Fawlty Towers. Okay. I like that. I agree, Maddie. I loved it. All of the stuff that I was able to see, I thought was excellent. But I also, and this is why we can't show the video. Here, this is what I'll do right now. Hold on. Because I do want to talk about it. And maybe this is the way we do it. You know what? No. Yeah, we will. See me? This is when I talk about schizophrenic me. Do you see what just happened there? I was having an internal argument with myself, and nothing was getting accomplished. All right, here. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to repost it on Twitter and Facebook. All right, I'm going to repost all of the videos. I think these are the videos. Are these videos back up? Yes, they are. Okay, very good. All right, on Twitter, if you follow me on Twitter, okay, Pugs Moran. Boom. Let me do it on Facebook as well. My new Facebook. This will get the new friend requests up. Oh, for cripeys. Hold on. I don't spend enough time on Facebook. I used to be expert at navigating Facebook, but I was away for a good 6 years. And in those years, all right, and on my Facebook page too, you know what? No, just go to my Facebook page. They're up there. I don't need to retweet them. I don't post that much. My Facebook page is pretty clean at the moment. It's new. I don't have a lot of friends, and that's Pugs Moran. Pugs Moran, the one with how many friends? Here it is. It's Pugs Moran. It's this picture, okay? All right, that's the Facebook page you want. Not the other one, that's selling my uncle's Rolexes. That is not my real page. That has been hacked. I miss it, but we've got to just this one. It's this one. What is it? You know what? I don't think this is going to work right. Is that exactly it? It should be. Anyway, thank you. That's improv, folks. That's Chicago style improv. All right, back to Maddie and our conversation about SNL UK. She says, I watched the SNL UK episode last night. She really liked it. Reminded me of old vintage TV shows like Fawlty Towers. Okay, so that's interesting because they actually referenced that. Tina Fey was the host of the SNL UK. And I loved it because I love Tina Fey. Many of you have heard my stories about the young Tina Fey before she was Tina Fey. Anyway. So I've always rooted for her, and just to see her become this superstar is just so super cool. And she was the host, the first host ever last Saturday night of Live from London. It's Saturday night. And, she played it off in her cool casual. I'm just here. I don't want to get in the way and all that kind of stuff. But man, you have to believe that she was the boss in the weeks and months leading up to that debut on Saturday. She was in those offices at those studios in London. She was the boss. She was the one that everybody shut the fuck up when she walked into the room. Now, I don't mean to say that she carries herself that way because she doesn't, but in the first couple of days, you know what I mean? Before they got to know her, and although she probably made them do improv right away, and then everybody was friends, and oh my God, it was perfect. And then no. But make no mistake, that show had Tina Fey all over it. The writers are obviously Tina Fey writers. It reminded me, and I know it was the first episode, and you better be good on your first episode. Talking about the SNL UK. You better be good on your first episode because, the critics are waiting in the weeds going, you had forever to make one episode. And this is it. Yeah, your fifth or sixth episode, you could see a little drop off. But if you're going to justify your existence in something like this, your first episode better be freaking great. Like the very first episode of Saturday Night Live. And you have to remember that the British audiences, they don't readily accept American imports, especially American comedy, because as Maddie points out, she was a fan of Fawlty Towers. The Brits really do think that they're superior to us in comedy. They point to Monty Python and Peter Sellers and, the Goon Squad and all of these great legendary Oliver, Laurel and Hardy, whatever. Chaplin. I mean, every great comedian, they go, yes, all British. So they've always sort of looked down on it. So that is why I've done a bit of a deep dive into why Saturday Night Live took so long to expand, especially to other like-minded Western ideologically similar cultures. And I guess, that the reason is that the Brits aren't really readily acceptable of American comedy. But anyway, so they go over there, and Tina Fey addressed both of those things. She addressed the Fawlty Towers stuff. They put her to the test. She pulled Gordon Ramsay, who was essentially the Jay Leno of the UK out of the audience as a way to answer the question why for the first episode ever of SNL UK is a Yank hosting, right? So when Tina Fey came out to do her monologue, she addressed that right away. Why is a Yank hosting? And there are some very funny running gags about colonialism and all that throughout the interaction she has with the audience at this point. And the audience is, of course, celebrities. Michael Cera is there. The star of Dairy Girls is there, whose name Nicolette Coughlan, I think is her name. She's there. And it's really funny. And I don't want to give any of it away. Why am I still getting election calls? I do not know. So Tina Fey addresses why a Yank is hosting, and Gordon Ramsay comes up and puts her to the test of, the British audience. Basically, Gordon Ramsay's premise was, I make a living out of making American celebrities likable. That's my job. Gordon Ramsay is like the Jay Leno of the UK, and everybody laughs, and it's pretty funny. And so he got up there and he basically quizzed her on shows like Faulty Towers and Monty Python and all that. And it was pretty good. I don't want to spoil any of it, but I thought the monologue was fantastic because Tina Fey is just fantastic. I thought that the sketches were all just terrific. The ones I saw, I didn't see them all. They haven't, to my knowledge, released a full chunk of the full raw Weekend Update, but what I saw from Weekend Update was really funny. They got this girl doing Weekend. It's brilliant because, and again, Tina Fey's fingers all over it. The reason Tina Fey and Amy Poehler were so successful were because Tina Fey and Amy Poehler could say jokes that guys couldn't. They could say jokes and then be Tina Fey and Amy Poehler with their cute little, I didn't mean anything. And nobody the next day would say anything. The kind of stuff that if Norm Macdonald said, he'd get fired, which, Norm Macdonald got fired. Anyway, that was the genius of Tina Fey. And it looks like Tina Fey has found her Tina Fey for SNL UK. This girl, she's so good. She went so hard on Prince Andrew. Shit that a guy could never say. And I don't want to spoil the jokes because, they're out there. You can find them. You can just go to, just go to YouTube, SNL UK, and you'll see these things. Anyway, I really enjoyed it. And I did a full 1 hour thing on it. And YouTube said no. So I am angry at YouTube. Screw YouTube. Graham Norton. Who did I say? Graham Elliott? Did I say Graham Elliott? Graham Elliott's a chef. Gordon Ramsay. That's okay. All right. I don't know, man. Thank you. This is a stream of consciousness. These are just names. There's not a lot of checking. You know how we do this? I just start ranting. I just start talking. Okay, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's Graham Norton. Graham Norton is the gay guy talk show host who's really good. And every time I see him, I'm like, is he better than all the American ones? He might be, except Conan. Nobody's better than Conan. No, sorry. Okay, so that's Graham Norton. And honestly, I'm leaving Adam up because I'm still confused. That's Graham Norton. Graham Elliott is the Chicago-based chef who lives across the street from my friend Mitch. Okay. Gordon Ramsay is a British guy who is a dick, right? Is that it? Do I have it? Oh, I'm never going to remember all of that. You know what this is? This is another Dylan McDermott, Mulrooney McDermott thing. Mulligan McGilroy. I don't know. We'll never get it straight. All right. But yeah, anyway, he was really good. He was great because he is great. And he comes up on stage and he's like, Tina, show the British population your knowledge. You claim to have grown up watching British TV. She has a really funny joke, and I'll spoil this one, but the premise to it all is Tina Fey says, I grew up watching British TV because in my house, my parents believed that anything British was educational. So we watched Benny Hill as a teaching tool. So that was the introduction. And then Graham Norton comes up and he's like, oh, so you say you watched British TV growing up. And then he throws out the name of a British iconic television series. most of which we have never heard of before, right? Shit that was just on BBC Two in 1980 for 3 years, right? So he's throwing this stuff out, and she has to recite a line from each. It's pretty good. It would be like if we played this here, like if me and Adam or somebody or Maddie or whomever, if I were to go like Friends, and then she would have to say something. We're on a break, like that. Say Seinfeld. And then be a line from Seinfeld, which can you believe that I don't, Newman, like that, All in the Family. Oh, Edith, it's like that. He did that to her with all of these obscure to the American ear British television series. And she crushed. So, I mean, look, hey, anybody who doubts Tina Fey's global comedy stripes, if you don't think she has lived her entire life, Tina Fey's not a hot girl, okay? I know she is now. Look, she's like the perfect specimen at this point, Tina Fey, because she wasn't a hot girl. And so she doesn't have hot girl sort of tendencies. When a girl is gorgeous at 13 and glamorous at, 23, and then just, a bombshell at 33, they have a certain mindset. They don't know how heavy a door is. And I'm just speaking truth. This is not, I know pretty girls. I know they have never opened a door in their life because somewhere there's a guy going, I got you, right? Tina Fey didn't grow up like that. Tina Fey wasn't hot. Neither was Amy Poehler. And what she was magnificently talented and incredibly cool. Like, she was a cool chick. She was not the chick that you were trying to bang at the party. She was the chick that was sitting next to you giving you advice on how to, you know what I mean? Like that. She's probably a chick that people thought was a lesbian. We did. We thought she was a lesbian because she had a short haircut and it was the 90s. People were experimenting. But no, she wasn't. Anyway, and so it's just so cool to see her now because now she's still probably super cool. She's probably really appreciative, of whatever fame she gets. But what she is seemingly is incredibly fulfilled by being able to do what it is that drives her passion. And that makes for an exceptionally well-rounded individual. So she was great. Couldn't be more proud of her. Let's see here. Maddie says, I'm delaying talking about gas prices, right? Maddie says, the mean chef from the kitchen TV show is Gordon Ramsay. Graham Norton is the TV talk show host from Britain, right? I like Graham Norton. You guys ever watch him? I see a lot of like British TV through like Sky and the UK news app and stuff, and they'll promote something, and then I won't go watch Sky. I don't think I have access to it, but it'll always be on YouTube, and I'll be able to watch like Graham Norton stuff. He's pretty funny. And I think he's like he's iconic in like gay circles globally because he's to me, he's like Jagger. Remember Jagger at 105.3? I always had so much deep respect for Jagger. Chris Jagger, the morning guy from the Mix in Dallas, and for years and years, really popular, and then joined us at 105.3. I always had so much respect for him because Jagger came out when it wasn't like, okay to be out. Jagger came out when they didn't hire dudes who were out publicly. And Jagger had the success to be able to go, yeah, they'll hire me even if I am gay. So I'm tired of not being. So I respect that. Graham Norton did the same thing probably years earlier, I guess. Although, I don't know. Remember that TV show that Jagger did? Love? What was that show? Oh, my God. What was the show? Love something? Oh, God. Hold on. There's got to be something here on YouTube. Can you tell I'm delaying talking about the gas prices? I am. Hold on. Chris Jagger. Love. Was Love something? You telling me? Oh. All right, chat room. I'm going to have to wait for the delay because you guys got to know. Someone in the chat room's got to know what the Chris Jagger TV show was because I'm trying to figure out, was Graham Norton already on in Britain? Or was Chris out during that? I don't think Chris was out during Love Phones or whatever. I don't know. I hate this delay. It takes too long. Peter loves some Jagger on the Love Line. No! Love Lines? was the TV show that was syndicated on Fox. Don't you guys remember that? And then there was another one. It was a whole, you guys are killing me here. It was a 1 hour maybe it was syndicated or it was a Fox show. I think it was early Fox. It was a 1 hour block that started at like 10 and went to 11. In the first half hour was a dating show hosted by Chris Jagger. In the second half hour was something hosted by Mark DiCarlo. You guys gotta help me out here. I can't be the only Gen X man with a memory of this. Maybe it was on after Howard Stern. I don't know. Change of Heart. Thank you. God damn you. You know who's getting credit for this? I'm giving Adam's getting credit, not you, Peter. Adam's getting credit. Love lines. All right. Let's watch some change. You guys want to watch some Change of Heart? Let's watch some Change of Heart. Maybe we'll call Jagger. Why not? We have no rules anymore. We don't know what we're doing. What was the other show, guys? What was the other show? Because the other show, I didn't know Chris Jagger. Okay, here's a little backstory. So I didn't know Chris Jagger when he was doing Change of Heart, right? He was just a dude on TV who hosted the show that me and my first wife watched every night, and we really liked it, and we really liked him, and I really thought he was funny and had no idea he was a radio guy in Dallas. No idea. But at the same time, there was a second show, and I think it was hosted by Mark DiCarlo, because it was when I was on the Kevin Matthews show at the Loop in Chicago. Mark was like a friend of Kevin's, and I think he was either executive producing or hosting it. Was there a show called Studs? Is that it? I don't know. Holy shit. I've smoked a lot of weed in between, 2001 and today. And me and my first wife were smoking a lot of weed when we were watching these shows. So, Change of Heart. No, not Bruce Springsteen. TV show. All right, chat. I'm not even looking at the chat room. Come on, give me some good clips. That'll bring this shit back. What is this? Angie and Steve. We got a full episode here.
When curiosity strikes.
Is this going to end us? Is this going to end the show? Am I going to end the show because we're going to watch some Chris Jagger from Change of Heart? All right. We'll see. Yeah, we'll skip that. All right, here we go. This is all right. So this is.
I'm looking more for.
So what year is this? Anybody remember? What is this, like 90? This would have to, okay, so if I watched it, it would have to be 95, 6, 7, maybe 97, 98. No, maybe 97. I don't know, whatever. All right, here we go. So let's go back. We're going to watch just a little of it. I want to see Jagger.
A sexual tiger, and he's kind of a wimp.
I'm a macho man. Change of Heart thinks it'll take just one blind date. She informed me that she wasn't wearing any underwear.
Oh, that's just wonderful.
To bring out his inner animal.
That's a good thing.
And what did Angie do with her blind date?
Then we took a shower.
Excuse me? After her wet and wild date. We said kissing, sweetie, not shower. Will these two stay together or have a change of heart?
I really didn't think today's show was going to turn into a Change of Heart watching party, but I'm down. Look at him! Hi, I'm Chris Jagger. Well, look at him! He's glorious! Had no idea who he was. All right, hold on. Let me go back to the chat room for a second. What was the show? Yeah, don't do that, Adam. Look, here's the good thing about Adam in the chat room going rip Jagger. Right? Oh wait, here, let's make it. He would think it was funny. Yeah, let's leave this up while we watch Change of Heart, because you never know who's going to be poking in. Hey, I'll do anything for a little traction. That's right. We are mourning the passing of Chris Jagger. former Live 105.3 morning man, Dallas radio legend, and one of the coolest people I've ever worked with in radio. All right, here we go. All right.
Welcome to Change of Heart. This is a show where couples... Hi, I'm Chris Jagger. Welcome to Change of Heart. This is a show where couples who've reached a crossroads in their relationship voluntarily go on one blind date with someone new. We're going to meet their dates later in the show, but first let's meet our couple. They met while singing in the church choir, and they've been...
All right. Can I, all right. So this would be a... My wife and I would lay in bed, and they would, when they were doing the introductions of the couples, we would both be relieved. Let's say relieved if it was a white couple. It was a white couple. Because when it was a black couple, the producers of the show were absolutely 100% trying to attract an urban audience. So it was culturally, it was very urban. And my wife and I were like 90s yuppies in the suburbs. So we didn't really have that same, and we didn't understand yet, because hip hop was relatively new. It's not racist. It's just being somebody watching a cultural shift. So anyway, we would have stayed tuned into this because we'd been like, oh, she could relate to him, and he's balding, and
in romantic harmony for the past 4 months. Please welcome Steve Staley and Angie Harper.
She's 97 hot, right? She's like at 97. Be like, oh, if I was watching, because let's be honest, one of the reasons we watched this is to see how hot the chicks were, and probably the women too, or whatever. I don't know, maybe women. I can't even pretend. I think maybe I just think my wife liked Jagger. Why would she be disappointed? Anyway.
You both admitted, actually, that there's some problems in the relationship, and that's why you're here. We're going to talk through some of those, but we're going to start at the beginning first. And I would imagine if you met at the church choir, there was more than singing going on at that point, Steve.
A little bit, yes. We flirted around for a while.
He flirted with me. Yes.
She flirted back big time.
But he
Don't
started
believe
it. I didn't.
I did start it because, how can you blame me?
Well, that's a good start then,
Can I just say, there is something so innocent about this is before Instagram. This is before everything was a duck photo opportunity. This is before everybody was performing for every camera that they see. These people, reality TV sure had been around for a few years, but it hadn't really become this ugly thing, this totally contrived thing yet. So I think to a degree we are seeing authenticity in the reality talk kind of realm that maybe we don't see that much of anymore, because everybody's always conscious of being recorded, and
And Angie, he started flirting with you. What attracted you back to him?
It had to be the butt. Cute butt.
How about that?
Okay.
How great is that?
He's got a great sense of humor, and that's number one. And a butt.
A great butt.
Great, cute butt.
Steve,
Sorry.
do you still enjoy going to church together?
Yeah, we enjoy going to church together. It's fun and exciting, but it's a little problematic when Angie curses in front of everyone.
I do
In
not.
church?
No, I don't do that. Well, it's not until after church.
all right.
And it's,
You know what?
It's not-
Hey,
sometimes
at
it's
the
in
end of the
middle
day,
church, the bulletin falls down.
the end of the day, Jagger is not dead. Okay? Jagger is fine. We are celebrating Chris Jagger. Let's see here. Came out with this well inconsistent. What are we talking about? What is Adam talking about? I don't care. We're gonna clean the slates. I can't stop. Buttermilk is the worst. Of course, Adam chugged it. What? Hey, I love Jimmy Eat World. Got to meet them too. All right, that's enough. I don't know. I can't. That was fun. Well, we jumped into the chat room. Maybe that's how we'll start every show now. Oh. Gang, I paid $4.50 a gallon today. What? I paid $4.50 a gallon today. A month ago, it was $2.59 at the Walmart, right? Walmart right there in Matson, right at 30 and like Walmart. No, I don't know. Whatever. $2.79 is what I was paying in gas. I travel, it's about a 40-minute ride every day on expressways and bumper-to-bumper traffic to get here. This war is going to do what none of you could. It's going to end this show. Seriously, I can't afford it. It's insane. I spent $30 in gas today to get here. I'm like, I'll get here for the $30 on a normal would fill my tank almost. I got less than half a tank of gas out of that. No, I was on empty. It was bone dry. I mean, is this affecting everybody? Is it? Right? I know it is because that's the story. We're going to talk about gas prices. $4.50. All right. No reason for hyperbole in this moment, Pugs, said my inner monologue. It wasn't $4.50. It was $4.49. Okay, I paid $4.49. I was paying $2.59 before all of this nonsense started. Now, California is always the canary in the coal mine, as they say, because California's the most expensive place to get gas in the country. We all know this. Why? I've got reasons as to why. Let's see. No, well, that's going to be that. Okay, so let's get it all on the table as to why California always has incredibly high gas prices, because they're closing in on $7. $7. They're closing in on $7 a gallon in San Francisco. All right, so the argument is liberal California, with all of their crazy nonsense taxes that keeps the gas prices so high out there. That's what you hear from the insane 15% on the right? In this particular blind squirrel and nut, in this case, they're absolutely right. California, they got a guy in California that wants to be president, right? Isn't he like man of the people, the working class? And isn't he that guy? Gavin Newsom? All right, they got a guy out there. He wants to be president of the United States. He's got to get rid of, listen to this. This is why California has high gas prices. Highest taxes in the nation. California levies the highest state taxes on gasoline in the country. As of early 2026, the total tax burden, including federal, state, and local fees, reaches nearly $1 per gallon. So before you're even putting a drop in your tank, you owe them $1 just for the privilege. Okay? Gavin Newsom wants to be president. He's governor of California. He does an executive order right now, and he removes that tax for the duration of the war or whatever. That's an easy fix. All right, so there you go. There's one thing. They have a state excise tax. This tax, which is in addition to the $1 we already put in, the state excise tax, this tax automatically adjusts for inflation every July. It's approximately 60 to 71 cents per gallon. All right, now we're up to $1.71. All right, remember, they're all worried about approaching $7 in California. There's nothing we can do, and it's Trump. Shut up. You got a guy running for president. There is something he can do today. He can get rid of the excise tax, 71 cents, and he can get rid of the California levy tax, which is like $1 whole. He can do this today. But no, he's going to gin people up. Yeah, Gavin Newsom, this is why I won't support him. Gavin Newsom, to me, appears to be intentionally ginning up the people of California with his rhetoric about this is Trump, this is Trump, this is Trump. And what he's leaving out is that he can end this right now in this state. He can bring the gas prices more in line with what the rest of us are dealing with. And let me tell you, we're dealing with high gas prices. So California ain't getting off. There are other reasons too. Environmental compliance costs add an estimated 20 cents per gallon in California because everything is environmental. Again, stroke of the pen. These are good ideas and we're not abandoning them. But what we are doing right now is we are putting the working class first in this state. The same thing that I would do as president. But again, he's not doing that because he needs them to suffer first in order for him to be the miracle worker. And you watch within the next couple of weeks, Gavin Newsom is going to do this, but he's going to make them suffer first. And he's going to remind them that this pain you're feeling, it's coming because of the people that I need you to vote out in the midterms. That's what's happening here. So don't give me this bullshit about California. Now, look, they are what's known as a fuel island, which I don't really understand how that is because they're on the coast, and I thought that they had, easy access. But here's what it says. I didn't even mention cap and trade costs and boutique fuel requirements that only California has. But I do want to mention this. So that they're also considered, and this adds quite a bit as well to the price. Not nearly as much as the added, taxes and bullshit that they have in California that the guy who wants to be president because he wants to return wealth and hope to the middle class can't use the stroke of a pen to relieve the gas prices here on the people of California. He's not going to do that. I got him so mad. I'm sorry. Now I'm ranting. Now it's a stupid rant. All right, focus. Sip of coffee. Reset. All right, so here's the thing that's unavoidable about California, which I didn't know. It is known as a fuel island, which is, I guess this is because of the mountains that separate, but they're a port. Do the boats that bring the, I don't know what the world looks like. Seriously, this is where I have to picture the world in my head. And I'm like, well, it seems like it'd be real easy to get stuff to California. They're right there. Can't you go from Galveston right? That seems easy. I don't know. I don't get it. Okay, so let's tell you the reason that smart people say it's a fuel island. They say California is geographically isolated from the rest of the United States and its oil infrastructure. So why is California more geographically isolated from our oil infrastructure? Is that a design flaw? Because it seems like, the entire west coast of this country is a pretty significant part of this country, and you might want to have them be compliant with, I don't know what that means. I'm stupid. Okay, let's move on, Pugs. You're stupid in this field of expertise, so let's move on. This is where I have one of my oil and gas friends. Except here's the problem. All my oil and gas friends are like the evil oil and gas guys. They're like, anything they say is going to be bullshit. And I'm going to be like, ugh. And then the argument will end when he goes, well, I guess you don't want my expert advice, podcaster. And I'm like, yeah, okay. All right. That's typically how it goes down. But you're evil. You're expert. Anyway. Market Island, fuel isolation, fuel island, okay? There are no inbound pipelines. There are no pipelines connecting California to major refining centers in Texas or the Gulf Coast. Why not? Again, seems like something we should have started working on in the 1950s when the Dodgers moved to LA. What the fuck? What did we spend all our money on back then? Highways? Oh, don't get me started on the urban highway construction conspiracy. Ooh, the reason we have bad neighborhoods is because of the way the highways were constructed. Yeah, they were intentionally designed to rip through neighborhoods, separating one group from the other. That's exactly what they did in Chicago anyway. Oh, but don't get me started. That's what they were doing. Instead of building fucking pipelines from Texas to California, they were trying to keep the blacks out of Bridgeport in Chicago by building the Dan Ryan right through it. All right. There we go. that was some little local flavor there on the rant. Hope you appreciated it. You're welcome. All right. Back to the fuel island bullshit. No inbound pipelines. There are no pipelines connecting California to major refining centers. They have a reliance on imports. When local refineries go offline for maintenance or due to accidents, replacement fuel must be shipped from overseas or India, which can take weeks and drastically increase All right, I don't know, whatever. I don't care, whatever. The bottom line is this. I don't want to hear any more about high California gas prices when their governor is running for president as a man of the people, and he can end the high California grade. He can put a moratorium on them. He can do any number of things. But holy crap, the screaming headlines today about California gas prices is absurd. Tired of being manipulated. All right, let's see here. Let's look at gas prices here. We'll do Dallas first. I want to see what Gas Buddy is looking at here in Dallas. Give me your prices. I'd love to see if you guys have them at the top of your head. I don't usually notice gas prices. I don't know if many of you do. Usually gas prices are all within 5 cents of what they were. They fluctuate a little bit. There's a comfort zone that I have somewhere between like $2.50 and $3.20. That's my comfort zone. And look at that. Look at what a whore I've become, right? I mean, I remember being a kid watching it go from 99 cents a gallon to $1 a gallon, and people were like, wow. Okay, so here, let me look at, let's look at this. This is Gas Buddy in Dallas. Hold on, let me close some of this nonsense. I got way too many windows open before we investigate what this is. That's, I think, nope, don't need that. Okay, don't need that. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Let's look at this. All right, so these are the top 10 gas stations and cheap fuel prices in Dallas, Texas. Take note, my Chicago friends. Let's look at these prices. You got to go to Italy. Where's Italy? I don't know where Italy is. Oh, I mean, I've heard it. I've heard of both Italys, the one that's over in Europe and the one in Texas. I've heard of both Parises, too. And both Dublins. Anyway, point is this. I don't know. None of these look like, familiar Dallas suburbs to me. So let's Italy, Garland. There we go. Okay. It's Sam's Club, but Sam's Club, isn't that like a little bit different? Like what's a Shell station in South Lake going at right now? Fort Worth, Corner Store Foods, $3.38, $3.39, $3.40. How much is that up? Were you guys paying like $1.98? How much were you guys paying down there? Or is Texas just not being affected to the degree the rest of us are? Let's see what the most expensive is. Okay, let's see here. Regular fuel prices. There's no way? All right, here, show the map. Show me the map. I want you to show me the map. Yeah, it's going to be stuck in your head now. You fuckers. You guys are going to be like driving home, singing Peter Frampton. You're welcome. All right, let's see. Let's go around Dallas. All right, I said Irving. All right, I said South Lake. Let's just try Irving. Let's see. Working man gas prices. Where are we at? All right, we got no gas. Let's pull out a little. What's this? No. Polo. Show me a gas station. I used to use Gas Buddy all the time. How come I don't know how to use it anymore? Okay, anyway, there you have it. No, that's not where you have it. All right, find gas. Let's go by city. Let's go Plano. Well, it's not going to let me do that. You were not going to let me just put in the city? Really? Probably make me want to sign in. I don't want to sign in. All right, there you go. That's so let's just say the best price on gas you're going to get anywhere in the Dallas area is $3.19 in Italy, Texas at a Love's Travel stop. It's got to be off the highway. Well, I imagine everything in Italy, Texas is off a highway. $3.38, $3.30s to $3.40s if you're getting closer to Dallas. I have no idea what Plano is. I imagine. Wait, there's got to be a way to see more, right? Why does it just tell me? Burleson, $3.41. Irving, there's one in Irving. Okay, here we go. Irving, $3.42. 10 minutes ago. Let me look at Plano. See what my kid is paying. Hit me up for gas money. Please, son. Where's Plano? Am I missing Plano? You guys are probably seeing this going, he's missing Plano. It's right there. All right, there we go. Stop it. The budging is happening. The budging was the pre-produced comedy bit from SNL UK. You know, not like a live sketch, but like something that they obviously pre-produced. It looks like a film or a fake commercial. The budging, the premise of the budging is that there is a group of people in an office somewhere that fuck you up on the internet just for no reasons. And the budging is in reference to the minute you're about to click on something, suddenly the page budges and you click on something you didn't mean to click on. Yes, there's a guy that made you do that in an office in London. The budging. All right, so that just happened to me. So Plano, here we go. All right, let's look at Plano. Plano's looking at the 350s, 352, and all right, that's not, you know, it's a dollar less. It's $1 less than what we're paying. What I pay, not in Chicago now. I deliberately pay out in the boonies. That's where I get my gas. And so that was where it was $2.79 a month ago. Most of the other places were like 305, 307. So, you know, all right. So here we go. Sam's Club 352 in Plano, Costco, Murphy Express. How come they don't list these by like HEB? These are all grocery stores. What about just regular ass gas station? Murphy Express looks like a gas station. Anyway, sure, it's not that much of a difference. But there's not just Shell stations like Shell, Amoco, Chevron at the corner of Jupiter and, you know, Plano Road. All right. All right. So we're looking in the 350s. There you go. All right, Dallas. I don't know if you're feeling that. Let's see here. All right. $3.59 right by my house in Fort Worth, the QT. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for prices at the places we actually get gas. I'm sorry. I mean, well, I just told you I get gas at the Walmart gas station, and now I'm about to rant against people who go and fill up at Costco. And most of the time, unless I'm seeking specifically lower priced gas, which is what Walmart in the boonies off 57 and like Route 30, that Walmart happens to have the cheapest gas, and it's pretty close to where I live. So I'll gas up there. But at all other occasions, we go to the QT. We pull into the 7-Eleven that's also got a mobile, attached to it. We pull it. We don't go to the Costco to get gas. Nobody pulls into that big, long parking lot, deals with all that traffic. It's just way easier to pull into the 7-Eleven. You know what I'm talking about. So thank you. So $3.59 in Fort Worth. That's kind of what I'm looking for. That'll be our mid price. Here's Adam. Adam's up there in Louisville. He's got $3.49, but it was 10 cents off with Walmart. See, there you go. That's $3.59. All right, so that's what we're looking at there. Let's check out, see what we're dealing with here. No, that's not it. All right. All right, here we go. All right, so let's go with $3.59 as the static price down there in Texas. Let's see the best prices in Chicago. All right, here we go. $3.39. Look at that. Look at us. Look at that. Oh, what's that? Oh, we got to drive to fucking Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin to get that? God. What? Yeah, there you have it. All right, so we're looking at, these are the top 10 gas stations, cheapest fuel prices in Chicago. Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. All right, let me see. Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. Let's see if I want to get that price. If I want to save $1. Let me see exactly where I got to drive to. Because remember, Gas Buddy is telling us that this is in the Chicago area. What? Okay. All right, that's not terrible. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's really bad. You know how much gas? It's bad for me because I'm like out here on the south side. So I'm like here. Okay, I'm like in this area, Bridgeview, Oak Lawn, south side, right here. There you go. All right. So we're like, where's Midway Airport? All right, there we go. Midway Airport is a good example, I always say, from beautiful Burbank, south side of Chicago. All right, Chicago Midway Airport, that's basically where I am. See the little airplane there. All right, so they're telling me that if I want to save $1 on gas, I got to drive. Look, we're climbing up the lakefront. Oh, there we are. I gotta go past Great America. I gotta go past Bears Camp. I gotta go past Hallis Hall. I gotta go past Evanston. I gotta go past Northwestern University. I gotta go past the Gold Coast, and then I gotta cross the state. I gotta go past that kid's house. That kid. Who's that kid? Remember the kid? He's like a big celebrity now. But you can. My brain isn't poisoned by right-wing media, so I can't name his name. Clyde Schumacher. Remember the kid who went up to Kenosha and killed people with the gun? Or that kid? I don't know. Ben Haggerty? What was his name? I don't care. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I got to drive past his house, and then I got to go all the way up here, Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. I guess there's probably some Illinois taxes there. Hey, JB Pritzker. Hi, JB. Hi, JB. I hear you're running for president, too, although you haven't exactly declared it. But why do I got to cross state lines to go into Wisconsin to get $1 less on gas? Can you tell me a little bit about the taxation of fuel here in the great state of Illinois? Middle class billionaire JB Pritzker, whom you claim to be. Help us out, brother. You can do the same thing. Do the same thing Gavin can do. But you're also probably just letting the knife twist a little bit, making us drive to Pleasant fucking Prairie, Wisconsin. All right, JB. All right, Mr. Billionaire. He doesn't even know what gas prices are. All right, let's go back to this list, because obviously that can't be an example of the gas prices here. Ain't nobody in the Chicago area driving all the way up to Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin, or you can drive to Kenosha, Wisconsin. Isn't that where? Wait, what happened in Kenosha? Is Kenosha where Clyde Swagmeister killed the guy he brought a gun? Remember that guy, Rodney Hammerton? What was his name? I can't think. Seriously, I have no idea what that kid's name is. Kurt Hofstetter. I don't know what his name is. Anyway, was that Kenosha? I get all like the close to Chicago, Wisconsin cities confused. Or is Kenosha where they had that terrible parade massacre where the guy drove? Or both? Is that both? Is Kenosha like Mayhem Central here? Because I hear that's Chicago. Point being, let's see. Okay, so Kenosha 359. We still got to go all the way out. We got to go to Wisconsin. At what point do we get to an Illinois place? I imagine we probably got to go through Indiana places first, right? All right, find gas. Let's see here. Regular fuel prices. Find gas. Come on. Okay, local prices. Here we go. Over on the right. Let's say, all right, so what did we have? We had 359 in, was it Louisville? All right, so what would be similar to Louisville? What would be the Louisville equivalent of Chicago? Let's say, shouldn't be this hard. It's not the Aurora. Let's just say Aurora. Okay, so Aurora, let's see what the prices are in Aurora. Aurora, Illinois. Wayne's World. That's more. Aurora is more like Garland, it's more Plano probably. No, Naperville is Plano. All right, let's go to our 409. All right, that's a lot less than I paid. Remember, I told you I paid $450. Why is it so cheap out there? And oh, that's why. Oh, this is nuts. Okay, this is like really West Aurora. This is actually like further than having to drive to Pleasant Prairie. Like, this sucks. Screw that. Hold on, let's go find somebody. All right, right here, Burbank. How about let's do Burbank? I don't see Burbank. There we go. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is right around here where the studio is by Midway Airport in Chicago. Why is it cheaper? Why was I? See, this is where okay. Are those like, do I have to be all right. You know what? I should not have bought where I bought, apparently. Because I would have saved 20 cents. Or no, what did I say? What did I pay? Hold on. I made that note. 450. All right, there you go. 449. So I paid $449 this morning. All right, so okay, this is what I paid then. It's not better. Yeah, right. Of course it couldn't be better. Ah, good Lord. All right. So gas prices suck and gas prices are going up. And there are things that can be done, the people in charge. And I want to blame, Trump for this stupid war and this, excuse to raise gas prices. I tell you about this with everything. This isn't a special situation. It is. I mean, in the reality, this situation that's happening in the Strait of Hormuz is a very real situation. But what I mean is it's not. The oil industry cries wolf. They're Chicken Little about everything. They justify rising gas. If one boat goes down in the South China Sea, they'll raise gas prices by $5 in Iowa. And then when you complain, they'll go, well, we had disruption and we had the one boat. They nickel and dime us over there was an earthquake in Uzbekistan and it ruined a bunch of docks. So it took us an extra day. So now you got to pay 5 more cents at the pump. I'm telling you the truth. They find bullshit reasons to nickel and dime us up. They clutch pearls, the oil industry. They clutch pearls over every little incident globally and use it to justify them making themselves richer and richer. And we all just buy it. Oh, yeah, I heard about that Chechnyan earthquake. Oh, did you? We get oil from there. Well, it's just the markets reacting to the way the markets will react to the people who are reacting to the actual earthquake. That's why you're paying 5 cents more. And we just accept it, spoon feed. Just the way our world is. It's just the way we've set it up and the way we've all gotten comfortable with it. Now, the situation with the Strait of Hormuz and what's happening here with this is real. This is an actual reason for the oil industry to be panicking. And that's why everything's going catastrophic. They're talking $200 a barrel now. The panic point long had been $100 a barrel. Well, we've cleared that. Now we're going to 200. Now I want to show you something. I want to do a little video breakdown here because I thought this was really fascinating. Because I don't know what's going on. I'm no expert. But I'm also somebody who pays attention and tries, okay? And I like to think that I'm reasonable and I'm not radicalized on either side. So when something like this comes out, I'll watch it. This is a piece of propaganda. For sure it's propaganda. This is a piece of propaganda that was put out by whatever is the Iranian government or whatever is the opposition who is fighting the United States and Israeli forces there for control of the Straits of Hormuz. Okay, so whoever we are fighting, they put this out. This is their little message to Donald Trump. And we're going to watch it because it's fascinating. And we're going to break it down because it happens really quick. So I'll explain exactly what is happening. But essentially, the way Western experts have responded to this little piece of propaganda is to say, yeah, that's probably how this is all going to play out. So on the one hand, this is propaganda, but people around the Western world are saying, well, it's propaganda, but it's true. I mean, propaganda can also be true. I mean, it can be a device used to open people's minds to, something that is or isn't truly happening, or, and sometimes you can use real things to manipulate people. So apparently experts say that this is exactly what Iran is doing. Generals, military experts, like retired guys, like, yes, this is exactly what is happening in the Strait of Hormuz. All right, so let's let the Iranians explain to the Americans, because that's the deliberate intent. The Iranians want to explain to rational, normal Americans what the fuck they're looking at, because they're not getting any truth from the president. And we've got people, retired United States generals, saying that's an authentic message. They are not lying. This is exactly what is happening. All right, so let's watch this. All right, let's get rid of... By the way, remember, I'm all for regime change. So whoever put this out, whoever put this propaganda out that we're going to watch, I hope he eats a bullet by dinner time. I want regime change. It doesn't seem like our current administration, who is waging this war, doesn't seem like they want regime change either. But also, we don't know what they want. We're all reacting to the crazy veneer, the madman doctrine, where, you never know what he's going to do next. I mean, this might be something that I don't know anymore. But let's watch this, okay? This is what the Iranians are saying. Hold on. Sorry. I never have the right thing pulled up. All right, here we go. All right, so this is, we'll break this down. We're going to do a little video breakdown, and I'd like my military experts in the chat room, because I know that we're all military experts when times like these come about, but I do have some friends in the chat room who have military experience, and they love this stuff, and hobbyists, whatever, so they're studied, if you will. They understand. Let's watch this, and if you have any comments, hold on, we're going to pull this back. There we go. We'll start it from the beginning. I'd love to hear everybody's takes on this. I want to hear, first of all, I want to hear why you think this isn't happening. Because if you deny that this is happening, and again, you're going against some generals and some foreign affairs experts and some Iranian experts and all that kind of stuff. All right, so here we go. Oh, and by the way, I'll play a little bit of the beginning here so you can hear the noise. They're going for a young crowd. They're trying to appeal. I didn't understand this. I had to watch this 50 times in slow motion. But I guess if you're like, a Gen Zer, this appeals to you and this resonates and you understand what you're seeing in real time. We'll watch it one time through. We'll watch it one time through and then we'll break it down. All right. So did you basically get the story? I mean, I'm an old man. So, for me, it was, I don't play games. I don't understand. But I do understand what the message is. And as I said, I've done a little research on this and read about it and read people's responses to it and all that kind of stuff. And essentially what it's saying is that here's the take from a lot of people. Actually, this is my take on it. Donald Trump is a guy who lives in a world where intimidation works. He has always been daddy's boy. He has always been the son of Fred Trump. So when he says something goes, you better do it or else. And nobody has ever said, or else what? That's the world that Donald Trump comes from. He is trying to use that world on the world stage. He doesn't understand that some radical fundamentalist who believes he's going to get 100 virgins when he kills the Western infidel, he doesn't understand that you better do it or else. Doesn't really work with these people, that they want to die and that they've been assembling this massive military that isn't nearly enough to defeat the United States. But you know what? They don't care, because their victory comes in defeat when they ascend to the mighty Allah, or whatever the hell is happening with those people. But they will kill a lot of us. And at some point, what they're depicting here is that Donald Trump can't believe that somebody is standing up, that somebody is saying, or else what? We have bombs too, and we are going to spill blood, and we are going to kill your people, and you may ultimately win, but the whole time we'll make money, and it's going to be awful for you. That is the message that these people are putting out to Donald Trump, and good Lord. All right, so let's watch it. We're going to break it down a little bit here, okay? Oh, before we do that, let me jump into the chat room, because I think that it's important to allow people to have, a take on this. Text Tua says, unlike the BS that Trump keeps feeding us. Sorry. Look, let me, Trump is not a truthful person. So when we elect somebody who is not a truthful person and we get into situations that require the American people, we demand a truthful person to tell us about what is being waged on our behalf. We got a problem. And that's what we got. He's not a truthful person. But in defense of that, I do want to talk about something that was reported yesterday. There were screaming headlines that Trump had backed down from the original deadline and that he had extended it 5 days. Okay, Trump has extended. Trump said, remember, he deals in intimidation. Trump said, that you better buy this day or what, or I'm gonna, it was that thing. And then the Iranians were like, okay, that they come, that they go. What do you want to do to that, my friend? And he's like, whoa, 5 more days. You know that joke with the line? You step across this line. And then you step back. And then the dude steps across the line. And then you make another, you step across this line. That's basically what Trump critics were saying about him extending the deadline. And when asked about it, Trump said, well, we've had recent talks with Iranian officials and things are moving in a positive direction. He said words to that effect. That's what Trump said. That's why he extended the deadline. And then every media that isn't Fox News, Newsmax, or in the tank for Trump, every bit of media, I saw it on ABC with David Muir. I saw it on CNN. I don't watch MSNBC, but okay, those are the 2 examples. All the other media went with this story. When asked about it, Trump said that he had positive talk, or the administration was having positive talks with Iran. We reached out to representatives from Iran who said they have not spoken to the administration. Ooh, sick burn. Right? So they ran with that whole story, right? Because it's believable that Trump is just making shit up. He said that we were having talks. That's why he extended the deadline. Then they asked Tehran, and some source inside Iran said, we ain't talking. And then the story was, that Trump's lying again. He's pretending to tell us that, he's having these deep conversations. Then 3 hours later, a whole bunch of European countries came out and said, no, he's right. We are talking. And there we asked and all that. And then this morning we wake up to, no, actually, there is a team of envoys from the United States who have been in contact with their Iranian counterparts. So do you see? I mean, Trump is an untruthful man. He's a terrible liar. And in times like these, it's just the worst case scenario to have this person leading us. But also sometimes, because he's Chicken Little, because he lies about everything, things that sound like lies turn out to actually be true. What the problem is that he doesn't know how to shut up. They weren't ready to announce, the experts doing these negotiations, they weren't ready to let the world know that America was talking to Iran and make that public. And Trump did, because he got backed into a corner because his ego got challenged on why he extended the deadline. So he's like, oh, because we're talking. And then generals were like, fuck, did he just say we're talking? We got to deny that. And so then immediately the press goes to Iran and we hear you're talking. And Iran is like, we're not supposed to be talking about how we're talking. We are not talking. And then the press runs with, Trump lied again. Right? And he didn't this time. He didn't. He lies all the time. But he didn't lie in that case. And that was the story last night. We're all just chomping at it. All right, so let's watch this. Understanding that he is a distrustful man, let's watch this again from the beginning, okay? Because we won't watch the whole thing. It's not going to take that long, but I do want to get to some key points here that Iran is trying to explain to us, not us, the American Gen Zer. All right, so here's the Strait of Hormuz. It begins. This is how everything works when things are perfect, right? Everything is working fine. The oil is moving. It's getting through this little bottleneck. Prices are stable. Everybody in the world is happy. Uh-oh, but then the United States and Israel show up. And they start attacking Iran. And then Iran responds because they've been attacked. And Iran says, all right, we're shutting down the Strait of Hormuz because, like 90% of it is on our coastline. And they stop the oil tankers in the Straits of Hormuz. Gas prices go up. Gas prices go up. We are experiencing this now about, 2-3 weeks out of this actually having happened. All right, remember when they were blowing up ships a couple of weeks ago? We're like, why are they sending drones to blow up tankers? Because Trump told the captains that they were pussies if they were afraid to move forward. And so a couple of them moved forward and the Iranians blew them the fuck up. Why? Because they're not intimidated by Fred Trump's boy. And as you better or else, they're like, or else what, my friend? Let your boat through. We are fucking crazy, man. Do you ever see the way we treat our women? We are insane here. Go ahead, motherfucker. Come on. Fuck you, motherfucker. That's what they did. That's what we're saying. And Trump's never had anybody stand up to him before. Never. Everybody's always worked for him. And then, before he had people working for him, he was always the boss's kid. You better or else. Fuck you, my friend. Let's keep going. So, here we are. He tells the ships to go through. And Iran starts blowing the ship. Iran says what they're going to do. Come through here. We're going to blow you up. Trump goes, if you listen to them, so that's what happened. All right. Now, the U.S. Abraham Lincoln hasn't been moved actually into here because this all hasn't happened yet. Okay. But Trump's like, I'm going to send U.S. Abraham Lincoln. So he's going to send one big aircraft carrier. They're going to do their bombing. They're going to blow up a bunch of fucking sand dunes and shit or whatever the crazy kind of hovels these people have. You can't. All of our weaponry is designed to disrupt fairly modernized Western people's lifestyle. You think blowing up a whole bunch of mountain ranges and shit or whatever the hell they got over here, you think that is like going to do damage? All that's doing is just blowing our tax dollars. Most people don't care. They live in holes. They're at war. It's wartime. They think that they are any minute away from meeting Allah and their 70 virgins. God, they are blue-balled berserkers of the highest order. So here we go. So we're going to move the U.S. Abraham Trump. We're going to move the U.S. Abraham Lincoln in. And Iran sends some drones immediately. And those drones are destroyed. The first wave does not get through, but it is enough to force the U.S. Abraham Lincoln to go, we're going to back off a little bit. Because what? Trump didn't expect they were going to fight back? See, again, Trump sends he's going to send our kids into the middle of this thing because he's daddy's boy and they will or else. And he's not even considering the or else. He's not. Except Iran. They're saying, this is the or else, man. You've already tested us. You said that the oil ship captains were pussies if they didn't enter the Straits of Hormuz. And they listened to you. And now some of them are dead. This is what's going to happen next. All right, so then they're going to bring the Abe Lincoln back in a little bit more. And maybe this time they do some damage to it. Oh, look who's here, everybody. Look who's here. Chinese oil. Chinese oil. That's right. Whole bunch of them flagged ships are suddenly going to become Chinese ships because that's how they're going to move the product. It's going to be a showdown. the Chinese ships are going to, well, the Chinese ships are going to be able to move through. Not a shutdown. Well, I guess Trump, what is Trump going to do? Is he going to blow up Chinese ships? No. So Iran is going to let the Chinese ships through. Money, money, money for Iran. Fund the war effort. All right, so now Trump is like, France, England, Germany, Austria, NATO, help. Dude showed up at a party, right? This is the situation. Dude showed up at a party. He shows up. He sees France. He sees England. He sees Germany, whoever, Austria. You know, he sees everybody. He's at the party. Kegger's raging. It's in the backyard. Hot chicks everywhere. He shows up at the party, and he's a fucking dick to everybody. He is just a jerk. You should see the way he treated Greenland. Oh my God, he's threatened Mexico. He's just being the biggest fucking dick at this party, but nobody can get rid of him because it's his fucking house. Or, yeah, it's his house. Sorry, in the scenario. Sorry, I shouldn't drift from my improv. All right. So he's at the party. He's being a dick. He's picking on Greenland. And then so Canada, who, you know, lives next door and has been friends with this family their whole life, Canada is like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, fuck you, Canada. And he treats Canada like an asshole. And Greenland gets involved and he treats Greenland like an asshole. And then all of the other guys are like, hey, man, you really need to calm down, man. And he's like, I don't need any of you. I don't need any of you. And then some dude from another school shows up and walks in and he's like, hey, is this the party? And he's like, yeah, that's a rant. That's right. So, hey, is this the party? He's like, yeah. And then they start a fight. Because, you know, Trump's like, who the fuck are you from another school? And the dude's like, you're drunk and you're an asshole. And he's like, yeah, fucking get out of here. And so the dude from the other school just lays him the fuck out. And then Trump gets up at the party and he's like, hey, France, hey, England, hey, Germany, hey, Greenland, hey, whatever. How come you ain't got my fucking back? It's called motherfucking global politics, you dumbass. So that's what's happening. They're not going to fucking help you out of this situation that you created so that people will stop asking about your pedophile friend and your relationship with him? What? I mean, if he had been a charmer, if he had been charming for 2 years and all that, but no, he wasn't. He was a bully. He was a bully and he was mean. And now the bully is gotten himself in a situation where the bully could use some backup and nobody is backing up the bully and them's facts, as Gen Z might say. All right. Now, this is interesting because I don't know if this is metaphorical or if Iran is saying, then we're going to assassinate you. Then we're going to kill you. Because remember, Trump killed their God. Don't let that be lost on you. Don't let the fact that on night one, he targeted and killed the supreme leader, their God, who from the time they're like, you know, in their first grade or whatever, it's like, this is your God. Are you kidding me? So I don't know if they're threatening to kill him personally, like, and then we will come to you. I hope not, because I'm really looking forward to the trial around 2029, 2030. It's going to be amazing. He's still with us. Anyway, or is this metaphorical? Like, are they saying this whole situation, this whole quagmire that you got yourself into for no fucking reason, this whole situation, dude, is going to end you. It is going to end your... So I don't know. So I don't know which one they're saying, but... And then once he's gone, the oil will resume. And the whole time, whether it's Chinese, Western, or Western and Chinese and Russian, whatever, the whole time, they'll keep making global dollars to support their drone manufacturing. Because that seems to be all they spend money on over there. All right, there you have it. Again, regime change. I don't know what that means. That means a coalition. By the way, it should be noted, good news I was reading earlier today, there does seem to be a building coalition of Arab forces who are now in response to Iran targeting U.S. military bases in some of the more friendly Middle Eastern countries. We're talking about, Jordan and Oman, and recently Qatar and Saudi Arabia, of course. So these countries all have, their own militaries, and they haven't been willing to get involved, certainly not in the beginning because of the presence of Israel. None of those. It's just, it's just an Arab thing. Like, we're not going to fight side by side with the Jews. It's just against other Arabs, just something they can't do. So they haven't been participating. But this morning, there was a big news story out there about how Saudi Arabia is now, because of Iran, they've contacted all of these countries, Saudi Arabia, they've contacted Iran. They're like, brother, what are you doing? Gotta leave us alone. And they're like, you are helping the infidels. You are not my brother, is kind of the way Iran is responding to him. So now Saudi Arabia is like, I think we've lost our brother Iran. I think our brother Iran must finally be dealt with. I think he's gone too far. And so we're seeing at least the talk of using boots on the ground, an assemblage of Arab forces going into Iran. And I got to be honest, and that will mean regime change, because the minute that the other Arab nation governments send their troops into the country, the Iranian regime ain't staying. They can't coexist anymore. So there will be change. And I like that. And this is what I've been calling for from the beginning. Regime change in Iran, fueled and propelled by boots on the ground of a united Arab coalition. This has been the way the whole time, not the whole time, but within the last 20 years. This is true since Iraq, since we got control, since Assad. This has really been the situation since Assad fell. And Assad fell because Russia could no longer prop Assad up, because Russia had their hands full, with their little situation with Zelensky. So anyway, all these things have been happening. The only troublemaker is Iran. And I have wanted from the beginning there to be American air cover of immense proportions supporting a united Arab invasion of Tehran. That is what I've wanted. That hasn't really been on the table until today. It sounds like, and why today? Because of that attitude that Iran seems to now have, a very provocative, which also should scare the shit out of people, most notably Israel, because if Iran at this point is acting hostilely towards its, estranged brothers, Saudi Arabia and Egypt and all of these other places there, if Iran is acting hostilely towards them, they're backed into a corner. And they're not only backed into a corner, but again, their crazy radical religion glorifies death and ascension and all of these things. Then what are we doing? Of course they're not going to win. Like, there's not going to be like an Ayatollah in the White. They're not going to win, but at what cost? At what cost? And is it worth it? All right. Anyway, I thought that was really interesting. Let's see here. Mike says, my ex-wife lived in Iran until age 3, dad in the oil business, then moved back to the United States. I have female friends, actual friends who lived in Iran, who were Persian, who came over here to America in the 70s and very early 80s, just as the rise of the Islamic Revolution. So, I mean, Iran used to be pretty cool, man. Iran, before the radical... Look, the Shah of Iran was a brutal dictator, and there are any number of wiki holes that you can fall into to learn about what a piece of shit he was. He was America's best friend. We liked him being in charge because when he was in charge, the oil flowed smoothly. And honestly, the United States didn't give a fuck about what he was doing to his people, So there you have it. However, they should have given a fuck about how he was treating his people, because over the course of time, the people got fed up with this bullshit. They rose up, they became radicalized, and that's the Iran that we have had since 1980. And it's time to go back to a time when Iran had some of the hottest chicks. Tehran, the discos of Tehran. If you were a real fucking player back in like 1975, my God, you were in the discos of Tehran on Saturday night, and then on Sunday you were in San Moritz, and then you were skiing. That was a hot place, is my point. Before Dubai, before Bangkok. Is Bangkok a place? What's one of them places in far China? Like China's got a couple of these places. Before those places, it was Tehran, it was Beirut. These places used to be pretty cool, man. And then radicalized religion got involved. Notice I said religion. Radicalized religion always ruins any culture it takes root in. That's right, I said it. Radicalized. Make sure you make note of that. All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We got some other things that we're going to talk about today. We got a whole bunch more to do. Spread the word. We got second half of the show coming up. I am Pugs. Please stay tuned. All right, here we go. There you are. Sorry about that. I had to brew a full pot of coffee. I thought I had some in there, and I did not. So, a bit of a rush start today. Oh, and I made bad coffee. All right, so thank you for hanging. I appreciate that. So I want to talk a bunch of stuff we're going to get into here in the second half of the show. I'll run down some of it for you. I'm going to go through we've had another celebrity death. That's right. We missed a bunch of shows last week, so we've got some people who died that we need to talk about. We covered Robert Mueller, but we didn't talk about Chuck Norris, and we didn't talk about ValeriePerrine. Do we have a trilogy? We'll discuss. ValeriePerrine died, so we'll talk about her. Oh my God. Oh, you know what? Man, ValeriePerrine was everywhere in the 1970s, and then she just completely disappeared. And she's got a fascinating story. And just, if she never played anything else other than Honey Bruce in Lenny. Have you ever seen the Lenny Bruce movie starring Dustin Hoffman as Lenny Bruce? Have you ever seen that? 1974 Lenny. Oh my God, Dustin Hoffman. First of all, it's the movie that people went, after The Graduate, you always want to see, can they follow it up? Because The Graduate was a big hit. Then all of a sudden, here we go. He's playing Lenny Bruce, and people are like, holy cow, this Dustin Hoffman kid, he might be, Anyway, ValeriePerrine died, and she played his wife, the fabled wife of Lenny Bruce. Anybody who knows the history of Lenny Bruce knows the story of Honey Bruce, and she was incredible. So we'll talk about her, and we'll figure out what's going on with the death trilogies, because I got to be honest with you, if the death trilogy turns out to be Robert Mueller, Chuck Norris, and ValeriePerrine, I see Chuck Norris and ValeriePerrine just hooking up constantly and making Robert Mueller very uncomfortable. So we'll talk about that. Also, I want to get into the story about the Bachelorette. The Bachelor, the situation with ABC. They canceled the whole season of the Bachelorette because the Bachelorette turned out to be completely opposite from what they had been branding her in all the preseason hype. Watch the new Bachelorette where we found the most amazing woman in America. And then, of course, a piece of video comes out and it's like, she ain't amazing. She's like, really? Anyway, we'll talk about that. What else? Some video. We'll do all of that stuff. We'll watch a couple of videos and we'll break those down as well. But first, let's start with the Bachelorette story. Okay, I want to get into that because I love my media goings on. I am a student of the media, and I love breaking media news and shit that appeals to me. It doesn't appeal to anybody else. Or I think that maybe, media junkies, like media news junkies, I think maybe that's a very small group and I just haven't been able to penetrate them. And so here I am, just not appealing to anybody, but I love this stuff. I love the comings and goings of media. And ABC, this is a big deal for ABC. Happened last week. We didn't get a chance to talk about it, but ABC, their cash cow. Oh my God. I was looking, I don't watch any network television, right? Do you know that there was a time in my life, not all that long ago? Oh Christ. It was quite a significantly long time ago. It's just that I'm old, and like 20 years ago doesn't seem that long to me, but I'm old. All right. There was a time in my life where one of my party tricks, my dearly departed friend Mike Chahara used to like to at parties quiz me on this, or at least allow me to show off for people. My ability was name a show, and I could tell you when it was on, what channel it was on, right? I knew the time and the date of every fucking show in TV. Look, it's because I was an only child, and I always had a TV in my room, and we were very early adopters of cable TV in our household. So I haven't watched network TV in forever. Again, that's where I come from. I come from the guy that could tell you, somebody says, Maude reruns, and I'd be like, that's channel 44 every night at 10:30, right? That was my ability. So last night I was flipping through, I was taking a look at the TV grid, and I'm looking at, what's on NBC and ABC and CBS and, here in Chicago, WGN and Fox 32 and all that. So anyway, I'm scrolling for the first time in a very long time, and what I noticed was, holy crap, there is nothing but low overhead bullshit on television. was it a special night or last night? Is American Idol always on for 2 hours in prime time? And is American Idol on every night? Because it seems like it is. And then you got like The Voice or something over on NBC, and that's on for a 2-hour block of prime time. You realize that is unheard of from where I come from in the 1980s. 2 hours of primetime television on a Tuesday night? Are you kidding me? That is gold, brother, gold. I mean, those were for your high-profile shows, your Hill Street Blues, your Lou Grants. Now it's like 2 hours of like amateurs doing karaoke. And it's dressed up. That lipstick looks gorgeous on that pig, but let's not kid ourselves. The entire production budget for an episode of American Idol is probably half of what Jennifer Aniston's hair budget was on Friends. So yeah, so the network's like, yeah, we ain't spending fucking bullshit on that. We're just gonna get a bunch of rank amateurs and we're gonna fill network TV up with bullshit like American Idol and The Voice, and you know, maybe there's a place for it, and maybe they've discovered their lane, because it's not like there ain't great TV everywhere else, whether it's Hulu or Prime or Netflix or Apple. There you can still get, you know, your Lou Grants of 2026. What is the Lou Grant of 2026? Morning show over on Apple. The morning show over on Apple is the Lou Grant of 2026. What is the Hill Street Blues of 2026, and where would you go for that? What's the best? I guess the question is, what is the best, most high-profile cop show in production? I don't know. True Detective, Hill Street Blues, True Detective on HBO. Anyway, point is this: all it is garbage, and ABC had, you know, big plans to make The Bachelorette, which is garbage, a big part of their spring schedule, or however it is. But let me read the story to you here, and then we'll break this down because it's fascinating, and I do have some inside knowledge of the whole Bachelorette scene I can share with you. But let's get into the details of this first, okay? It says here, ABC has pulled The Bachelorette after TMZ posts shocking video of Bachelorette star Taylor Frankie Paul's explosive confrontation with her ex. Okay. I was gonna say, because, you know, she's a Bachelorette, something must have happened. She's single. I don't know who this is. Like, is this the world that we live in now, where she's just the Bachelorette? Why should I know Taylor Frankie Paul? She's an Olympic ice skater. Like, why should I know her? Or is it just that, well, she's the Bachelorette, so you should know her? Looks like she's just a crazy bitch to me. Something to do with Mormons. That's why, right? Isn't she like a special Bachelorette? Like, didn't she have some kind of weird either Instagram or, you know, A&E TLC Mormon wives cred or something, right? Isn't that it? I don't know. Maybe we should read. Look, let me tell you something. This is why I need a girlfriend. This is why I need a woman in my life. I used to be up on this stuff. I was a huge fan of the Real Housewives. Why? Because, you know, when you're in a relationship, if you want to make it work, you got to give a little. And sometimes I would have to watch these chick shows with, you know, the woman in my life. And guess what? It's how I discovered American Idol. Woo! It's how I discovered Real Housewives of New Jersey. Yeah, I love the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Anyway, I haven't had a regular woman in my life in quite some time, so I'm not up on, you know, the new specialities like Real Housewives of Mormonism, like stuff like that. But anyway, I think she comes from something like that. Anyway, let's learn about what happened with her. ABC on Thursday of last week has announced that it would not be airing the latest season of The Bachelorette after TMZ published a video of the show's star attacking her partner. Hours earlier, TMZ revealed the video showing Taylor Frankie Paul, star of the show The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and the upcoming season of The Bachelorette. That's it. Secret Lives of... I don't know what that is. Oh, hold on, ladies. I don't want to. Oh, thank you. All right. Let's see here. Sorry, I lost my place. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, you know what? I shouldn't probably have that Iranian propaganda up for so long on my. All right, so let's go through the story. Here we go. Be ready, April and Maddie. You guys know. Be ready in the chat room, okay? ABC on Thursday announced that it would not be airing the latest season of The Bachelorette after TMZ published a video that shows the star attacking her partner. Hours earlier, TMZ revealed the video showing Taylor Frankie Paul, star of the show, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and the upcoming season of The Bachelorette, repeatedly hitting her partner, Dakota Mortensen. Of course it's Dakota. Of course that's who it is. And of course, her first name is Taylor, and she goes by she's got 3 fucking first names. Taylor Frankie Paul. Like her name could be like Tommy Tony Jim. Why is everything so fake? All of these lizard people. Seriously. This can't be. Taylor Frankie Paul can't be the name on a birth certificate, can it? Have we been naming people stupid names like that for however old she is, 28, something like that? And then she's married to a Dakota. Hi, I'm Dakota. I hate people. Let's see here. So the video is her beating up Dakota. In the video, which was recorded by Dakota, Taylor Frankie Paul appeared to take multiple swings. Was that... There were no Taylors before 2016, right? There were none. Before Taylor Swift, there weren't every other hot chick you meet is named Taylor now. That's not real, is it? It's like my kid. It's like my kid Mason. Oh my God. When I named my kid Mason, okay, I'll tell the story again. When I named my kid Mason, it was a unique name. We didn't know any other Masons. We used to joke that, well, when he goes to Six Flags, he's going to be disappointed when he never finds the vanity plate with his name on it because his name is too rare. And then 2 months after my kid is born, one of the Kardashians has a baby. 2 months. One of the Kardashians has a baby, and they name it Mason. And then for the next year and a half, every trailer trash teen mom who watches the Kardashians name their kids Mason. So now my kid, who I maintain is the original Mason, not the original, but certainly the original in my personal universe, the original, now he goes to school with like 50 Masons. He was born 2 months before Kourtney Kardashian gave birth. Anyway, the name Mason didn't exist before, at least not in the normalcy that it does now. And I'm a part of that. I get it. But same with Taylor. Her name is not Taylor. I'm sorry. You know what her name is? Her name is probably like Linda Paulson. That's her name. Taylor Frankie Paul is Linda Paulson. But she's got to be the Bachelorette, so she needs 3 dudes' names. 3 dudes' names equals hot. All right. Repeatedly hitting her partner, we know this. When Mortensen was able to get out of the hold, he yelled, "Let me go!" In response, Paul kicked. All right, look, let's watch the video. We got the video. We'll just watch the video. So what are we wasting time for? So TMZ releases this video. ABC has been pushing this girl, coming this fall to ABC. It's a whole new season of The Bachelorette. And then, it's her, and she's like, you know her from, wherever, Mormon Wives, because she's supposed to be a good girl or something, was that the whole branding? She's sweet. She's a Mormon. She has magic underpants. I don't know what it was. Anyway, they really were pushing this. And then TMZ puts out a video of her going absolutely crazy bitch on her boyfriend, and it's all over. And the reason that I mentioned that is because, it's easy for them. This is not an expensive show. Remember I told you American Idol exists on 1/8 the budget that, Kramer used for, sandwiches during Seinfeld. It's not this. It's so cheap. So they're just like, yeah, all right, get rid of it. And they probably got a million other, they'll give us another game show. Welcome to the ceiling. What's the ceiling? We're all going to stare at the ceiling. So that's what they'll do. So it's not that big of a deal. Anyway, let's watch the video. Here is a video of Taylor Frankie Paul beating the crap out of her former boyfriend, Dakota. I hate being so negative. Oh, are we going to have to real? Oh, there. Yes. You know what? I would prefer that we watch this on X as well. All right, guys, here we go. Here is the exclusive TMZ video. This is
Yeah, look.
hold on. Yeah, hold on. Pause that. What the?
Yeah,
All right, it's gonna be one of them deals that I can't pause. Hold on.
yeah, look at you. Look. Yeah, look at you. Look. Yeah, look. This is cool.
Oh, I can't pause. All right, I can pause it this way. All right. First of all, it's a good place to pause. She's how did they don't look like they match as a couple. Like she's gonna go on the Bachelorette, right? And she's gonna have a cavalcade of dudes that look like, you know, washboard abs and shit like that. And this is what she's getting in real life, and she's beating the crap out of him. All right. I can't tell if he's fat or it's just a baggy sweatshirt and he's bobbing and weaving.
Full of views.
Nice.
Yeah, look. This is called physical abuse.
It is.
Yeah. See, Taylor, this is all you do. It's the only thing you know how to do. Holy
Yeah, all right, so let me point something out here, first of all, because, you know, I don't subscribe to the whole alpha man thing. I think that those guys are anything. But if you have to, like, act or proclaim yourself alpha, you're probably not really alpha. What you are is insecure, and people like me can see it. So let's move on. As an alpha man, what we're seeing here is pretty damn common, especially, you know, I've been, in my experience, the hotter the girl, the more likely she is to be fucking crazy violent with her guy. Headlocks and throwing punches, you know, all kinds of horrible things. Now, we're not talking about the introduction of weaponry of any kind, but this is, you know, this happens a lot in relationships. Girls, I've had my eye socket broken by a girl who threw a watch box across the room. I have had my neck carved up, you know, with nails from being grabbed. I've been slapped. I've been punched. Telling you, man, here's the rule. You don't marry any of them. Like, that's nuts. But if you date, you're going to come across some situations with some women who are pretty volatile and they beat up men all the time. All the time, right? Okay. And I'm fine with it. Now, again, I'm not an alpha man. I'm fine with it. You know why? Because I could beat the fuck out of her if I really needed to. But, you know, I'm not going to do that because I understand that she is only doing that because she knows that I won't return fire, right? Women get away with it because men aren't socially allowed to hit women. Women can do whatever they want. And what I want to be absolutely clear before we watch the rest of this is that, yeah, this happens all the time. And no, I don't think men should be able to punch back because I'm sure it's the alpha male class out there will be like, yeah, I'll tell you, you raise your hand to me and I'll lay you out. Women, I don't fucking care. Yeah, you're a pussy and you're certainly not a man because a man understands that at any minute I can put this chick through the fucking wall because I am bigger, I am stronger, I am of a different gender, and I have the power. But I don't, because that is what being an alpha male is. That you don't. That you just get the fuck out of there. You remove yourself from the situation. You know who crumbles and ends up in handcuffs? The guy who is such an insecure little egomaniac who cannot handle the, oh, you're going to hit me. Well, and then he hits her back. It's not being an alpha man. This chick is a crazy bitch, and I hope she was a good lay, and you got to move on from it. And that's real talk. Don't need to get the police involved. You don't need to be like, I was beaten by my woman. Really? You were? That's how I feel. Whenever I see a guy that's like, I was beaten by her. Oh, shut the fuck up. Oh, man up, you little pussy. Seriously. It's a woman. She lost her shit. She beat you up. It's not a situation you need to be a part of anymore. Pick yourself up and move on. Don't go to the police. Don't claim to have been victimized. Why? Because you hate women? You hate women and you're like, well, if I did that to you, I'd be in prison. Yeah, because you're a man. And I'm sorry, but part of my outlook on being a man is that I know that in most situations, if it came down to a physical fight for the last steak on earth, I could probably snap a woman's neck. We understand that. We're bigger, we're stronger. But being a man in a civilized society means understanding that and being able to control. That's like Trump, right? Trump's got a nuclear bomb. Can he control himself? Most men have a nuclear bomb. This guy, I've seen a lot of criticism. The reason I'm ranting like this, because I've seen a lot of criticism of this guy. He's a pussy. No, he's not. He's filming. He's a pussy because he's filming it, and then he released it, right? That's why he's a pussy. That's why he's not a man. But it's not that he's not a man. He's not a man because of the way he's allowing this to happen. He's not a man because he, filmed a private moment between him and his girlfriend, and he should have just, moved on. And in a couple of days, when his friends went, hey, what's going on with that chick with 3 guy first names? He would say, oh, she was a crazy bitch. She went nuts on me. And so I'm single again. Let's party. That's how it should have gone down. But it didn't. She's about to have a moment probably a year or so later after the incident. And now he's going to be a little bitch boy and he's going to release it and ruin everything for everybody. Let's go back and watch this.
Yeah. See, Taylor, this is all you do. It's the only thing you know how to do. Holy
I don't give a f.
Let me go. Stop. Dude, leave me alone.
I've been here. Oh, that's all right. So now we got kid. Now this does make it a little more troubling. The introduction of the kid, that there's like some baby there, like close, and she's throwing furniture at him.
Daughter is right here.
However, I would say this, he could have been gone a long time ago, but he's not for clicks. He's not because he's recording. So he could have been out of here a long time ago. Like the minute this whole thing starts, a man will remove himself from the situation. But no, he's sticking around because he's going to film. He's even egging her on a little bit. And you never egg on a crazy bitch.
Oh my gosh. Oh my. Yeah, look at you. Look. Yeah, look. This is called physical abuse. Yeah. Yeah. See, Taylor, this is all you do. It's the only thing you know how to do. Holy
I don't give a f.
Let me go. Stop. Dude, leave me alone.
Dude. Oh my dude. All right, I'm laughing, and then there's the kid. All right, that's enough of that. There you have it. So that's the video that TMZ released that tanked the entire new season of The Bachelorette. Which, by the way, I just want to, hold on, we'll add a little bit more to that. But do you guys, am I crazy? Do you guys remember a song by the band Trip Shakespeare? Trip Shakespeare, I don't know if it was a regional thing called Hey Bachelorette. Here, I'm going to play it for you. Play a little bit of it for you. Tell me if this song sounds familiar. I love this song. On the break when I was like, I should probably do that Bachelorette video breakdown. And for some reason, I just started humming this song. Hey, Bachelorette. Here. No, Trip Shakespeare doesn't come up. Oh, it does. All right, so it does. Hold on. There we go. All right. Do you guys at all remember this song? I should say Trip Shakespeare. I don't know that they were national, and I know that I'm talking to a lot of people in Dallas, but they were a local regional band. They were a Minneapolis band. Minneapolis, Milwaukee, Chicago, Indianapolis, Detroit, St. Louis, man. There was a whole hub right here where you could see all of those bands at a time in the 1990s when it was pretty cool. So Trip Shakespeare was one of the more popular ones. They came from Minneapolis. Now they would go on to be famous as Semisonic or Closing Time. All right, this is the same band, but with a couple of different players. They were called Trip Shakespeare for years, playing around in the Chicago club scene. And they had a hit, and I know it was a local Chicago radio hit. I don't know if it was like an MTV hit, which is, always the barometer, especially back in those days, as to whether or not a song was a hit or not. Whether it was just something that you heard in Dallas because it was a cool band from, Wichita Falls or something like that, or conversely, something we heard in Chicago because it's one of the bigger bands in Milwaukee that's playing this weekend. So here, this is Bachelorette by Trip Shakespeare. Now remember, this is semisonic, so it's the same guitar player. It's the Simon Brothers. It's the same lead singer, so it'll sound like closing time. But do you remember this song? Here we go. Oh, not. Does that sound familiar at all? Because I'm telling you, I think it was. I'll give you a little bit more. All across our nation, ocean blue to ocean green. Women come down from the ski mountain just to bring me to my knees. None of these lonely ladies realize what they meant. Oh, hey, 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 Bachelorette. Anything? I mean, obscure, but that song is now stuck in my head because we're talking about the Bachelorette. Okay. All right, I'm going to address some of the things that April was saying in there. And also, hold on, Maddie apparently has something that she wants to say on the subject. In the meantime, April has a terrific point, one that I share. April says ABC was so stupid for even hiring her from the start. Very good point.
Hello.
I would also say, hi, Maddie, hold on. I would also say that ABC was stupid. Well, here's the play. You want to know what the play is for ABC? Wait until, when was it supposed to debut? Because they need to cancel it, and then they need to announce that it's back on, and everybody will tune in. I will watch, and I would never have watched The Bachelorette. That's the play. Let's see if it happens. All right, Maddie, catch me up. What do you know about the whole Bachelorette ABC situation? Taylor, Frankie, Mormon, catch me up.
So the Taylor Frankie Paul chick, so she's from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, right? She was the problematic character in that cast. She was unequivocally a mean girl. So that whole show centers
so she's
around.
not. So hold on. So let me get this straight, because again, I'm like the mass general public who doesn't, dial into this, or at least a portion of it doesn't. I was under the impression that she was being promoted as a good girl. She's been a biatch from the beginning. From the beginning. So in the world of the Mormon wives, okay, if I can bring this into a little Gen X real world, she's like the Puck of Mormon wives. Would that be
100%? It's instigator out the gate. So that whole show, though, it's not really about these Mormon wives being like good trad wives. They're kind of breaking from Mormon tradition. They're living more of a secular life. They're young, they're hip. They drink. They do things normal Mormons don't do. So it's casting a light on this untraditional Mormon, young Gen X, Gen Z, not Gen X, Gen Z millennial Mormon lifestyle, right? And all these girls kind of worshipped her. She was in the Mean Girls cast. She was the one who bullied everybody, right?
Okay.
And something that she did very early on when that show kind of started was she started a rumor online on Instagram that all of those couples were wife swapping, and that wasn't true. And she almost broke up literally every marriage on that show behind it. And several of the characters kind of tried to leave, and like their marriages were shaky because of it. Now, a lot of them stuck with her because they were the lesser characters and they were still wanting that paycheck and stuff. But but one couple in particular, this girl named Whitney and her husband, really had some very rocky marriage problems. They left the show for a while. And then what happened is that the reason why Bachelorette's leaning into this girl is that last year, Whitney and another Mormon wife was on the cast of Dancing with the Stars. And Whitney came out as this phenomenal dancer. She really gained a lot of traction. After that, she went back to Mormon Wives to still leverage some of the celebrity status that she got. And I believe that Bachelorette thought, let us capture some of this lightning in a bottle. And they picked this problematic character that they knew was going to get them instant clicks because she was kind of the protagonist, this bad girl to the Whitney's good girl. And it blew up in their fucking faces.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
what they should, do you agree with me that they should now announce that it's back on? Or when was it supposed to start? Because that would be ratings dynamite. Now she's a hot commodity who will probably get she'll get her own reality show somewhere else now. She'll just get a better deal with somebody who wants to capitalize on the heat from this scandal.
Yeah.
That's how this game works.
They may make some money off of it just by putting it out on like Hulu or something like that. But that first of all, that whole scene that played out with that fight that happened back in 2023. That's not recent.
Right.
She did get arrested for that. She pled guilty to it, and it didn't really become an issue until all of a sudden TMZ grabbed it because this new season of Bachelorette was coming out. So, maybe ABC was hoping that this just wouldn't surface or it was just old news and not important.
Okay,
but,
wait. All right. I got you. But I'm starting to get caught up on something that I guess I hadn't considered. So ABC Network, ABC TV has said that they will not be airing this on ABC Network TV. But now people, and you just suggested yourself, that ABC will possibly release it on Hulu, which is their streaming platform that they do all of their
why
things with.
wouldn't they? It's already in the can. It's been filmed.
Well, why wouldn't they? For the same reasons that they're not airing it on network. That's my question. I'm not understanding. Do you see the duplicity here? If ABC is so offended by this that they don't want to platform this behavior on their network, why are they still willing to capitalize it by allowing it to stream on Hulu?
Yeah, we'll see. I guess we'll see how it plays out for sure. I don't understand why they wouldn't. Controversy is good. Now they may not want to put it on, their family friendly, family forward sort of a situation. But why wouldn't they bury it in Hulu just to see if it would get viewings on it?
Well, because they're offended by what she represents and doesn't want to be a part of her. That's why. That's their moral objection to it. That's why she's not allowed on Disney, ABC Network, Family TV. This woman behaved poorly, and we are ashamed to have been associated with the brand. That's the moral stand that they taken when they said this show shall not air. So for them to now walk around the back garage area of the house and talk to Hulu and go, I'll sell it to you for that's, I'm just so tired of this kind of duplicity and it being just widely accepted. And that's why I wanted to point out the chat room's like, they'll just put it on Hulu. So there is no moral consistency with them. It's not about objecting to the behavior of this person they were about to amplify into a much bigger star. It's not about that. It's about looking bad to Disney family friendly TV. I'm just tired of that being normalized and glossed over. And I wanted to point it out. All right. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm not disagreeing with you. Like I said, I personally won't be surprised if it shows up on Hulu. Now, if they want to be consistent and they don't want to put, her in a spotlight where she can get, ratings or what have you. But I feel like we have seen the reality TV star who is controversial not necessarily being cast out. It doesn't get cast out. And so I won't be surprised if they throw it on Hulu just to see.
Yeah, I don't know.
They got 2 or 3 reality TV shows highlighting nothing more than these problematic characters now.
I am saying, I'm calling bullshit on the moral outrage from ABC Network. All I'm saying is they shouldn't have pulled it in the first place. But since they did, they could now capitalize by saying, we've changed our mind and we're bringing it back now that everybody's paying attention to it. That's all. I just want them to be completely up front and stop pretending like this is a moral decision to save the integrity of ABC Network. It's bullshit.
I think you have far too high of standards.
Yeah, I guess so. All right. Thank you, Maddie. Appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. There's our update there on the Bachelorette. I don't know anything about that stuff. I do know this. Some of you longtime listeners of the Pugs and Kelly show may remember that we used to do all kinds of like dating games and, speed dating. And then we had all these bachelorettes and all the reality stars. Here's the deal. We would take all of them, even if we didn't watch the shows. And Kelly and I didn't watch any of the shows really. Oh, she did. She watched, a number of them. But I really wasn't. But I just liked having the people in to like get to know them and talk to them. And, they enjoyed that kind of an interview because I wasn't grilling them about something that occurred on the reality show. I was asking them what kind of car they drive and, what fast food wrappers are in the back seat of their car. Because that was always my contention. You show me a hot chick in her early 20s and look in the backseat of her car. It is a train wreck. The backseat of that chick's car. She's been putting on makeup and changing in that car and parking lots of bars for a good 18 months. And there are Burger King wrappers back there. And, anyway. So we got to know some of the bachelorettes, especially the ones that were local. The reality stars in general. You may remember we fielded a team for a season at Dodgeball that was the reality show All-Stars. It had people from American Idol. It had people from the Bachelorette, and they would play other civilian teams. Duke's Dodgeball. Nikki McKibben, God rest her soul. Nikki McKibben was the captain of that team. Nikki from American Idol. She was great. But also we had Shannon from The Bachelor and Trista something from The Bachelor. I don't know, one of them names back then. And then who was the other girl? I don't know. I'd have to ask my buddy Aaron about her. I forgot her name though. But we started hanging out with these girls because, it's like dodgeball and they're having fun. And, me and my friends are hanging out with the cast of the last season's Bachelor or Bachelorette. And so, got to know some of them. I will say this, Shannon Oliver from season 1. Oh God. Oh, I got to be pretty friendly with her. Not in that way. Oh, hell no. She scared that. I'm not afraid of any hot chick. She scared me. She was like a 21-year-old senator's wife. Like if you could imagine what the way, just the energy that a senator's wife, that's who Shannon was. But we became friends. We went out on, I thought it was a date. I thought the first time, we went out like 3 times. I thought they were dates. They never ended well. And we had a lot of good time. And, but anyway, point is this, she's fantastic. So when I tell a couple of stories here, I just want everybody to know that they weren't all terrible. Like Shannon Oliver is a really classy lady, and I have no idea what's going on with her life, but here, we'll show you. I think we got a picture of her. I found her here. But she's a really cool chick, and I hope everything's working out for her. All right, here, this is her on the left. This is when I knew her. This is when I thought I was on a date with her. I guess this is her now. Looks like she's doing okay. All right, good for her. I know that the last thing she did was that she was hosting like down in Houston, like some show like Houston Homes, like a show that's on like on Sunday morning. Anyway, she's a really cool chick, so she's great. Anyway, let's flip to the rest of that cast of crazy bimbos. Oh my God. I mean, I swear to God, these are the girls in bars who lift their tops up. These are the exact same, not Shannon. Remember, I'm not talking about her. And I'm not talking about maybe any of the other ones that I named too. But I can tell you that having spent enough time going to parties and meeting them, it's her birthday. Come to the VIP room at Coco's, that kind of thing. So I've been around enough of them to see how fucking nuts they are. And the hotter they are, the more poorly behaved they are. These girls, there was my friend Bruce, who's no longer with us, but he said, let me tell you something. He ran porn business, right? He ran a porn company. Wicked? Was it Wicked? What did Bruce run? I don't remember. Something. Bruce ran something. It was pretty big. Anyway, Bruce said to me, he goes, you got to understand, he goes, these girls are all the same, whether it's Girls Gone Wild, porno, or in fancy hair and makeup and trotted out on ABC for The Bachelor. They're all the same girl. They're the girl who lifts her top up at the bar at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday. And they're the girl who will make out with another girl just, thrill the crowd. Oh man, those chicks are making out. That's who they are. Just because they're on The Bachelor and they're being presented, like, oh, I'm a real estate broker from Tampa. No, they're party girls, just in a different form. And I've seen that pretty close up. My friend hooked up with one for a considerable amount of time. Kept us in the rotation of the where are the Bachelorette chicks partying this weekend? Kept us in that rotation for a while, which was good. And Shannon was incredible. Shannon was the senator's wife. She was what ABC was forcing all of the other ones to pretend to be, right? Just a real Southern belle raised from a good family. All right, there you have it. That's all I know about The Bachelor. I don't know anything about the series. I never watched the series before, but I have partied with the Bachelorettes and the Bachelors too, although I didn't pay much attention to them. There was like one guy that Kelly and Sybil were like really hot for, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to talk to him because girls are hot for. He had red hair. He looked like Ron Howard. But like hot Ron Howard, like imagine if like Ron Howard was like chiseled and hot. Anyway, that's what I used to call him. I used to call him Hot Ron Howard. I don't remember their names though, but it was fun. It was fun. The reality show days, the reality dodgeball team. No pictures of that remain. There used to be pictures, but my Facebook got hacked. Woe is me. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? Do I want to do that? No. Do I want to do that? No. All right, let's talk about the death trilogies. Here we go. So you know me, I love to talk about our death trilogies. I like to keep a track of what celebrities have died because the belief is, strongly held one at that celebrities die within 10 days of each other in groups of 3. Now, why is that? Well, because up in heaven, celebrities go to a special celebrity wing. Oh, yeah, your dreams of doing karaoke with Johnny Cash the evening that you die. No, they ain't going to happen. Johnny Cash doesn't want to do karaoke with no. So there is a celebrity wing, and they all have to live in these beautiful, 3-bedroom condos. So that's why celebrities die in 3s. Now, I've been keeping track of celebrity death trilogies for a number of years now, going all the way back to the 1990s. Let me get you caught up on where we are for this year in 2026. There have been 8 complete death trilogies, I believe. Let's go back to number 7. The number 7th death trilogy began on February the 27th. Neil Sedaka. He was followed on the 28th by Ali Khomeini. Yeah, the Ayatollah Khomeini and Neil Sedaka. I love that one. And then they were joined by Lou Holt on March 4th. So there you have. That is number 7 of the year 2026, Celebrity Death Trilogy. Neil Sedaka, Ayatollah Khomeini, and Lou Holtz all living there. 86, 86, and 89. I mean, aside from ideological differences, that's, pretty good culturally. They're, they all remember the same thing. Well, maybe not Khomeini. I don't know that Neil Sedaka and Lou Holtz, I bet you they got a lot of shit that they can, they're both American raised, World War II era. No, too young for World War II, right? Yeah, that'd be too young for it. All right, the 8th death trilogy, that began on March the 5th earlier this month. It gave us Corey Parker. Corey Parker was a burgeoning young comedian and then sitcom actor. He was on a bunch of shows. None of them ever took note, but I remember him. He was something. They pushed him, and then they gave up, and now Corey's dead. Corey Parker, American actor. He 60. He died. He was 60. On March the 6th, Jennifer Runyon died. Oh, my God. Corey Parker, 80s up-and-comer. Dead, and then he's followed one day later by Jennifer Runyon. Jennifer Runyon, man, Charles in Charge, Gwendolyn Pierce, the hot blonde girl in the beginning of Ghostbusters. Oh, Corey Parker on March 5th, Jennifer Runyon on March 6th. They were followed up by Country Joe McDonald. He died on March 7th. Country Joe McDonald is It's songwriter, hippie, 1960s protest songwriter, successful, had some hits. What's he most famous for? 'Cause it's 1, 2, 3. What are we fighting for? Don't ask me, I don't give a damn. Next stop is Vietnam. And it's 4, 5, 6, down up the pearly gates. That's okay. So he died. So there you go. That's that death trilogy. You got Corey Parker and Jennifer Runyon, a couple of 80s never was's who were almost, followed by Country Joe McDonald. 9. We're at 9. Okay. So here we go. Chuck Norris, Robert Mueller, and earlier announced this morning, ValeriePerrine. There we go. We've got the third right here. So we've got the third in a row. Chuck Norris died on the 19th. Robert Mueller died on the 20th. And ValeriePerrine died on the 23rd. Now, who is ValeriePerrine? Let me show you who ValeriePerrine is. ValeriePerrine, if you're Gen X like me, Superman. She was not. Why? Because we were 10, 11, and we were first starting to have these hormones. And so we're watching Christopher Reeve as Superman. And, Gene Hackman is Lex Luthor. And Gene Hackman had a bimbo, a hot blonde bimbo. ValeriePerrine, that's her. His hot blonde. But daddy. She was a good actress. I came to know her much later in life when I began to investigate Lenny Bruce, because everybody's always like, Lenny Bruce is the funniest. And I'm like, okay, let me go investigate this. And so I listened to a whole bunch of Lenny Bruce. I got to know a whole lot about Lenny Bruce and all that stuff. And I came away going, he wasn't that funny. He wasn't that funny. He wasn't that funny. He was, he's a great defender of freedom of speech and all of that stuff. And, I don't take it away. But as far as a comedian, Lenny Bruce, not that funny. Lenny Bruce is not that funny. I don't even find his, here's the problem though, that I am willing to acknowledge. I don't find his take or worldview particularly interesting, but that may be because since his arrival on the scene, everybody has kind of adopted a Brucean world take. And now to me, somebody much younger, it just seems like that's not original. It's like when people go, I don't get the Beatles. It's like they invented every pop song ever. I don't care if you're listening to the Lovin' Spoonful or fucking Semisonic. The Beatles have their fingers in that shit. Anyway, same, I guess, can be said for Lenny Bruce as far as a lot of social commentary comedy. But the actual content I never really loved. What I did love is the film Lenny. The film Lenny tells the story of Lenny Bruce's life. It is a small film. It's an incredible film. It stars Robert De Niro. It stars Dustin Hoffman, a young Dustin Hoffman, and ValeriePerrine, who died of Parkinson's today at the age of 83, I think it is. 82. All right, I want to watch this scene. We're going to watch a scene from Lenny. Dustin Hoffman plays Lenny Bruce. ValeriePerrine plays Honey Bruce, who is also famous in, legendary lore circles and all of that. Honey Bruce was a famous stripper, con woman, a piece of shit. Honey Bruce was a piece of shit woman, but she was hot and she took advantage of men and she was always in jail. And guess what she did? She got her hooks into Lenny Bruce. Little Courtney Love kind of situation is what a lot of people, might draw correlations to. So anyway, Honey Bruce was kind of this albatross around Lenny Bruce's neck. And, they had this crazy love but she was bad. She was bad. ValeriePerrine played her in the film Lenny. Let's watch this scene. This is a scene from Lenny, again, 1974. I think that's when this movie came out.
Absolutely perfection.
Beautiful. Shockingly.
All right. So this is ValeriePerrine, and ValeriePerrine joins Robert Mueller and Chuck Norris in the 3-bedroom apartment there, closing out the 9th death trilogy of the year. All right, here we go. Let's watch this. This is ValeriePerrine. She's really a good actress. Don't just think that she was the bubbly bimbo in the Superman movies. No, she did other things too. Here we go.
I got some really good news. My lawyer says I might not have to go to jail. He says we can appeal. But,
How much this time?
200?
I'll send what I can.
I'll pay you back this time. He said he'd call on
Tuesday.
I miss you, Daddy. How's Kitty?
Fine.
You change her lot? You know you gotta change her or else she gets those rashes.
I gotta hang up now.
Lenny?
Yeah, I'm still here.
You still love me?
Sure, but I gotta hang up now. I can't make these phone bills. It just never stops.
Because I still love you, and as soon as I'm straight.
I gotta hang up. Listen, I'll send what I can. Okay?
Okay.
Take care of yourself.
All right, there you have it. ValeriePerrine did at the age of 82. BAFTA award winning, Academy Award nominated, or did she win the Academy Award for that? Honey Bruce, Bob Fosse's 1974 biopic on the life of Lenny Bruce, starring Dustin Hoffman and ValeriePerrine. If you've never seen that movie, it's a very good movie. Well, I mean, you have to be interested in these true life stories about these culturally significant individuals who maybe don't get the spotlight, right? I mean, I would argue that Lenny Bruce is a pretty culturally significant personality of the last 70 years of American pop culture, but there's never been there hasn't been I don't know. I'm trying to explain, he's not really promoted very much. I don't know that he's remembered, and maybe he should be remembered in my book for all of his contributions to everything we take for granted today, like freedom of speech and all of that, and taking stands and being arrested. But again, don't think he was very funny. I don't know. The content wasn't my bag, Jag. All right, let's move on. What else do we have here? ValeriePerrine joins Chuck Norris and Robert Mueller. Oh, by the way, Chuck Norris, right? Chuck Norris deserves some love. We did not give Chuck Norris any love. Hold on, let me see. Chuck Norris, Robert Mueller. What is that? That was the Chuck Norris hospitalized story. I don't care about that. I wanted to go through Chuck Norris's filmography because something dawned on me when I learned that Chuck Norris died, that I couldn't name a single fucking Chuck Norris movie. I couldn't. Actually, after thinking about it, I came up with Invasion USA. No slight against Chuck Norris. Again, Chuck Norris is a guy that, throughout our time at 105.3 lived in Dallas or lived outside Dallas in the area. He was always promoting something to charity, whatever. So he would come through the radio station from time to time. And I believe it's the famous origin of James Parker, who is, afternoons on WBAP. I think it's the famous origin of James Parker believing that he could kick Chuck Norris's ass. Which I always say you couldn't kick Chuck Norris's ass. Which, by the way, I wanted to send him a text on the day that Chuck Norris died. I wanted to send James a text saying, now I believe you can kick Chuck Norris's ass. But James's whole thing was, he's 70. And it's he's 70 and he's Chuck Norris. He's going to break your jaw before you make one step towards him. What do you think? James is not a fighter. He doesn't understand it. He's just I'm big and I'm young, and Chuck Norris is 70. And Chuck Norris is going to crush your windpipe with his fucking finger, and it's going to happen in the blink of an eye, and you're not even going to know what's happening, and then you're going to wake up in the hospital. That's how you're going to kick Chuck Norris. But he's 70, and you're a dumb hillbilly. My God. Chuck Norris is an extremely well-regarded fighter. He is trained. He is disciplined. Chuck Norris wasn't one of these bullshit guys that makes a bunch of movies and then we start going, does he really know anything? No, Chuck Norris really knows. Chuck Norris has Bruce Lee credibility. He knew Bruce Lee. He was Bruce Lee's instructor and teammate. So that's who Chuck Norris is. So yes, finally, I am willing to admit that James Parker could probably beat Chuck Norris dead now. Chuck Norris died the 19th. When was that? Was that like last Friday or something? I think it was. All right, let's go through his filmography here because I love Chuck Norris. Like, who doesn't love Chuck Norris? Okay, people who are like politicized, don't you be a little bit mad? I don't fucking care. He's Chuck Norris. Shut up. What? Look, any Chuck Norris movie you ever saw, did you look at the character Chuck Norris was playing in the movie that you enjoyed and go, I bet that guy supports green energy? Shut the fuck up. You enjoy Chuck Norris for being, that guy. So just enjoy it. Separate the art from the artist. I hate you people. All right. Hold on. Where's his filmography? Because again, I know, of course, Walker, Texas Ranger. That's sort of his big thing. That's his TV show. That's probably, but I don't know his movies. Hold on. I mean, I know he's got a lot of movies. I just don't know that I've ever seen them. Hold on. Filmography. There we go. Give me the damn filmography. Chuck Norris's filmography. Here we go, folks. All right. So his career began in the late 1960s, early 70s with all of those Bruce Lee movies because, again, he was a training partner or maybe did he instruct Bruce Lee? Something. There's something there. I'm not entirely sure what. But there's a relationship between Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee. And so he did a whole bunch of Bruce Lee's early breakthrough movies. Of course, Way of the Dragon, right? All right, so here, let's run through these. The Wrecking Crew. Hi-ya! The Way of the Dragon. Hurrah! Student Teacher, hiya! Yellow-Faced Tiger, hi! Breaker. I don't know what that is, but it says he said also he was the fight coordinator, so I'm guessing that's a hiya! And then in 1978, he started combining martial arts movies with sort of a more mainstream American image, Good Guys Wear Black. I remember that movie from when I was like 8, never saw it, but I know it was a thing. 1971. All right, now we got 2 that I definitely remember and 2 movies that I have definitely seen. So I guess I have seen Chuck Norris movies. 1978, or 1979, A Force of One. And 1980, The Octagon. Man, I remember, you'd be watching late night TV in 1979, 1980, and there'd be a commercial they used to have. We used to see commercials, coming attractions from movies on TV. And always like late at night, if I was staying up too late, that's where you heard these, The Octagon in theaters Friday. It was like, yeah, they really promoted the hell out of that. All right, so here we go into the 80s. We've got The Octagon, An Eye for an Eye, Silent Rage. All right, I don't know any of these. Forced Vengeance, Lone Wolf McQuade. All right, I'm gonna tell you if I've heard of them, okay? Lone Wolf McQuade, Missing in Action 2. I think I saw Missing in Action. And I feel like I've probably seen chunks of Lone Wolf McQuade with my friend's dad, when you're sleeping over at your friend's house. And you sit on the couch for a little while and dad's watching something and it's either a John Wayne or a Chuck Norris movie. Yeah, I think maybe that's where I've seen some of that. Missing in Action, Code of Silence. Feels like something I should have seen, but I don't know that I actually have. Invasion USA. There you go. I definitely saw Invasion USA. I saw that in the movies, Orland Square movie theaters. This is 1985, Invasion USA. Definitely saw this one in the movie theaters, and it was the one movie that I could name when I immediately thought. So I guess that would be my number 1 pick if I was to do a Chuck Norris draft. Let's go with so far. I don't know. Let's run through these. The Delta Force. I remember that. Firewalker. I do not remember that. Braddock. Mission in Action 3. I remember that. Delta Force 2. I remember that. Then in 1991, he did The Hitman. Don't know what that is. 1992, something called Sidekicks. Don't know what that is. 94, something called Hellbound. Don't know what that. Yeah, the bottom fell out. The bottom fell out for Chuck Norris around about the early 90s when he just started doing a whole bunch of movies, half of which don't even have Wikipedia hyperlinks, which means he's getting paid to do movies that, there is no even information on. In 2004, Dodgeball, a true underdog story, brought him back. He played himself in that. It was only a cameo. And I guess at this point, he was just cashing them big checks for Walker, Texas Ranger, which was a wildly successful show for him. All right, there you have it. Chuck Norris was a very cool guy. Let me tell. Okay, so I because I have had opportunity to be around and interview Chuck Norris and be in social situations with Chuck Norris, and I wanted to tell a story. It's probably not a great story, but it's my first experience with Chuck Norris, just hanging out with Chuck Norris. And when I say hanging out, what I don't mean is me and him taking a long car ride together. What I mean is being in a single room, a small room, with like 4 or 5 people, and Chuck's one of them. That's the extent. Other than our conversations during interviews and stuff like that, it's not like we ever went, and had drinks together or anything like that. But we were in situations where I got to interact with him a little bit and, get to see the kind of guy he is. So this instance comes at the old Reunion Arena in Dallas, and Chuck was promoting some new fight league that he was promoting, and it was the early 2000s. And our station was really bought in on this because it was one of those deals where if we promote, Chuck will make himself available to our station, which means we can do interviews with Chuck, because Chuck is a big star. Like, I know that when I went through his filmography, there wasn't a whole lot of Academy Award, but as far as being a pop culture icon, Chuck Norris is a big fucking deal. And if you're a guy talk station in Dallas, like 105.3, you want Chuck Norris to be friendly with you because Chuck Norris represents the kind of bravado and, that kind of thing that we all think is cool. So that was kind of the deal. So in the early days of the station, Chuck and this new fighting group, I don't even know what it was called, Chuck Norris's Fight Force, we were partners in it. And our show, we promoted a lot of these things, and Chuck came on and we interviewed him, we met the fighters and all that. So let's fast forward to the night of the event. The event is at Reunion Arena. There's a bunch of teams from other cities, and we walk in, and I don't even know what we're doing. It's an appearance. We're paid to be there, but, we're not fighting or anything. So at any rate, we show up and we go into the back room where Chuck's team is. And we open up the back door, and again, there's probably about 5 or 6 guys. Some guys are stretching out, and, the other guys, it's trainers. And Chuck is just walking around. Chuck at this point is probably in his mid to late 70s. He's built like a brick shit house, right? He looks amazing. And he's wearing sweatpants and a tank top. And he is walking around these fighters as they're rolling on the ground, warming up for their bouts. I don't even remember what kind of fighting this was. But he's walking around and he's coaching them, and he's got a smile on his face and he's laughing. And we walk through the door, and he looks up and he looks at me, and I go, hi, like that. And I get no response to him. And Kelly goes, hi, Mr. Norris. And he goes, oh, Kelly. And he comes right over, and I'm like, what the fuck? He was not that he was hitting on her or anything, but that's the kind of thing. I was just another dude. And when I walked in, Chuck was like, sup? But then as soon as my female partner was, hi, Mr. Norris, he's like, oh, I'm going to go over there and give him a hug and be friendly. I thought he was a nice guy. I thought he was a really nice guy. And I've often wondered if the friendly encounters that I had subsequently with Chuck Norris, whether it was interviews or charity functions or whatever, I often wonder if that's all because of her, because she was the one that sort of made him act like a gentleman. Yes, ma'am. Hi, Miss Kelly. Thank you so much for coming. Pugs, I appreciate you showing up too. It was like that. And I'm like, this is fucking Chuck Norris. What? These guys are like alpha dragons. They're all like getting ready to beat the fuck out of each other. Anyway, it was a nice experience. And I was a little sad when Chuck Norris died, because to anybody, Gen X, he is certainly an icon to us boys. And I'm blessed to have had an experience where he was a cool guy. He was just a really cool, normal person. And he was fun. So God love Chuck Norris, and go America, right? That's kind of what Chuck is all about. All right, let's see. What else do we have? We're going to run through a couple more things, and then I think, my friends, we are going to call it a day. Do I want to do that? All right, let's do this one. All right, here's just a quick little funny one. Let's watch this. Oh, Jesus. This is one of them boss's daughter situations. You're going to love this. So this is a MAGA event, okay? Oh, it's so cringe. It is so cringe. And nobody says anything to them because they got money and they're important. And everybody wants to get some of the money. So nobody says anything. Nobody wants to not be allowed near the table where all the pigs are eating because shit might fall from the table. And if you're there, you can eat it. So ain't nobody going to say anything about this. They're all going to applaud. You're great. Here's the boss's fucking daughter-in-law. This is Laura Trump. Who is this one? Laura Trump. Who's the one that escaped? There was one Trump chick. I think she was married to Don Jr. She escaped. She got out. She's like, okay, this is not going to be how the rest of my life is defined. I am like a 30-year-old hot mom married to her. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm going to move to Montana and my kids are going to be normal. So one of them did that. The other one, the other Trump daughter-in-law from the first term, she leaned into it hard. And now I think she's going to be appointed to the Supreme Court. Pretty sure, right? I don't know what her name is. Anyway, is she Eric Trump's wife? Oh, she's a lot. And she fancies herself a singer. And there are plenty of opportunities where they just need to fill some time at these MAGA rallies because people will pay to be there. And, whether it's a $5,000 a plate thing or something going on at the Georgia Dome, they always need to fill some time. So why not get the Trump daughter-in-law out there, give her a microphone and ask her to cover some Tom Petty? Let's go. And then everybody applauds. Oh, she's great. This is so much cooler. Here we go. How about the boss's daughter entertaining the crowd at one of these stupid time-filler MAGA things, and nobody can say a goddamn thing about it, and we're all just going to pretend like she's good. She is hot, though. I will give her this. She is hot. She has no shame. She has zero self-actualization. She has no idea how people see her, especially in these moments. Why? Because nobody has told her no since she married into the Trump family. Like within the immediate Trump family, she's been told no a lot. Like Eric has told her no, and Donald and Melania is probably brutal to her. Can you imagine I almost said the C word. Could you imagine what a C word stepmother-in-law Melania must be? Anyway, other than those people, everybody, all of her assistants, the people that she has lattes with every day, everybody in her universe works for her. And they're all like, you're such a great singer. You should sing Tom Petty. Monkeys. This is good, you morons. I mean, I gotta do it again. This is like what you allow a little girl to do at her quinceanera. This is not, you're trotting the president's daughter-in-law out, and she's going to fill a little time doing awkward Tom Petty covers that seem to have some sort of metaphorical messaging about how rigid and tough she is. And Jesus, man. Embarrassing. And all these monkeys sitting there going, we think this is good now. We think this is normal. The me from a couple of years ago, I might be like, this chick sucks. What the fuck are we doing? But not me now. Glug, glug, glug. This is embarrassing. Applaud for the boss's daughter. Boss's daughter-in-law. And I won't back down. Look at these clowns. Look at these suck-ups and sycophants. Look at this guy. I don't even know who this guy is, but he's got shooter. He's got shooter written all over him, just standing there going, she's so good. People in this room are making fun of her, right? There's no way. Like, there's people going, holy fuck, here we go. They can't all be mega zombies, can they? All right, there you go. That's plug for the boss's daughter-in-law, you weak, spineless bitch. All right. Let's see, what else do we have? Why are they allowing that? Like, could you ever imagine, like, you know, Gerald Ford's daughter-in-law is gonna sing some Eric Burden for you? Eric Burden? I don't know what that is. I don't even want to. Why would I try to think of a vocalist from the 60s? Did Eric Burden come up? I don't know. All right, I want to show one more piece of video because this is going around this story. I saw this earlier today, but also I saw stories about just the event in general. Apparently it's happening, and I don't know what this is, but you know that time every year where how to explain? You come, you stand in street, and how to say, hundreds of bulls come, and then you fight the bull. Is that it? What is that? Running of the bulls, right? That's kind of it. The fuck is that? What is this medieval stupid thing? Personally, I think if you want to really prove that you are an alpha male, get your ass in here. Get your ass in here and go stand there in front of a bull. That's a real alpha male. It's a real dumb alpha male, because I think, you know, a real alpha male would be like, yeah, that's a bull and I'm a human being. And I don't think that's going to work out too well. I've done the math. All right, so let's watch this. Here we go. This is some footage from the running of the bulls. This particular video is gone viral. And I guess the question is, do you have any empathy for this person? Because I can tell you before you watch it, I have zero empathy for it. I feel comfortable and guilt-free laughing about it. And, you know, that's just how I'm going to come about. That's how I feel. All right, let's watch this from this year's bull runs. Yeah, it happened really quick. You want to see that again? Yeah, he got basically his side of his head gored off by a fucking bullhorn because he's standing in the, and it's not like, oh my God, the bulls escaped. And you know, you're in the street and you go like, oh, I gotta get out of the way. No, it's all right, we're gonna release the bulls. And these idiots are like, I'm gonna go fight one or whatever. What is the object? Well, obviously, I think the object is to survive. But so you're trying to not get hit, right? Let's watch this again. Oh, let's see. All right. This one's looking for, this one is mad. Oh, yeah. And he made the turn. This guy thought, look at, oh, this guy's about to just. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That son of a bitch jumped into it. That is a bull that jumped into that dude's head at full speed. How is he alive? He's got to be dead. He must be That's what I say. Who are you, Hemingway? What's the matter with you? Hemingway was a drug-addicted psychopath who was also a drunk. You're trying to emulate Hemingway? I mean, all of that brilliance that spilled out of his mind onto those pages, that was because of mental illness, you fucking loser. Go try to be Hemingway. All right, there you go. I have no empathy for these people. I have no empathy for that guy. You know, my son is a bit of a thrill seeker. And it sucks because his mom's a bit of an adrenaline junkie. And, you know, I think my son got a little bit of that. And I am not, man. My kid's like, I can't wait to turn 18. I'm like, what are you going to do? I'm like, what are you going to get, a prostitute, right? I don't know. Normal kid. When you be 18, what can you do at 18 that you can't do? He's like, I'm going to jump out of an airplane. I'm like, no, what? Are you nuts? Jump out of an airplane. I want to jump out of an airplane, Dad. No, you don't. And he lives in Plano. Oh God, seriously. He lives in Plano. What is the thing that Plano is globally famous for? Okay, I know you can make a lot of arguments. Oh, it's the headquarters of Pepsi and Snapple or Frito-Lay or what, Nationwide and whatever. It's capital of everything. I get it. But Plano is pretty well known as the ballooning capital. You know, the Plano Balloon Fest that happens every year, where just like 1 billion people in a field bring out, their big giant hot air balloons, and all the hot air balloons go up in one time. Yeah, that's the thing that my kid's hometown is famous for. And he's like, I can't wait for the balloon festival this year. I'm going to go up in one this year. I'm like, no, you're not. You are not going up in a hot air balloon ever. But Dad, you went up in a blimp. And I'm like, but that was to hang out with Pink Floyd. That was a record promotion. The Division Bell blimp was floating over Chicago with Pink Floyd in it, and I was allowed in it. I was willing to risk my life to hang out with David Gilmour for an hour and a half. So no, my kid wants to go up in a hot air balloon. I'm like, fuck that. He wants to jump out of an airplane. Fuck that. He wants a motorcycle. Ugh. The dude spends his entire life in his room watching monitors or on a phone, and now suddenly he wants to be Evel Knievel at 18. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. So I don't feel bad for any of those people. All right, guys. I think that's it. I think we're going to call this one a show, and I'm going to get out of here. A couple of things. Let's see. What am I watching? What do I need to mention for you that I'm watching? There was something that I wanted to mention. Still haven't seen Peaky Blinders, Immortal Man. I started again, but I got distracted doing something else last night, and so I didn't see that. I got nothing to help. Is there anything? There was something that I started to watch that I was like, I should tell people I'm watching this. They might be interested in this. And I can't remember what it is. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Appreciate you hanging out with me today for a Tuesday. This has been a Tuesday show, bit of a late start. We'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, noon, kind of the same kind of a deal. Noon, maybe a little bit later than noon, because I do have something I got to do tomorrow morning as well. But let's put a pin in noon, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye. I just burped, but I'm not going to leave you on a burp. Bye, everybody. Hey, and you know what? Here's a great piece of advice. This is how I'd like to leave you. Give somebody a chance to be good dudes today. Be somebody a chance to be a good, you know what that means? I heard that today. Somebody was talking about it on the radio when I was listening in. It's like, meet a stranger. When you meet a stranger, there's coldness and all that because of fear, because you go into relationships with strangers with some modicum of fear, and that manifests itself in maybe being cold. That's where you get the, what's up? What's up? That is all fear driven. That is all. This person is different. I don't know how he's going to react, so I'm going to be. I heard this guy, I'm listening to these kinds of personality tapes on how to be happier in life. And tapes. What is it, 1985? And this guy was explaining the theory behind when you meet somebody, whether it's, the person that's ringing you up at the Starbucks, or whether it's, the guy you're getting gas from, whatever, when you just meet strangers in real life, give them an opportunity to be a good dude. And basically what that is, say hello to people, get big energy, come with big energy, allow them the freedom to be like, oh, this person's nice. This person, I can be nice back. I can smile back. I don't know. I thought it was good advice. Give people an opportunity to be cool. Don't, so, hi, how are you? Hope you're having a good day, Okay, what do you think, that's weird? What are you, a weirdo? Well, no, you're a weirdo if you think being nice to strangers is a weird thing. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Have fun, be cool, and meet back here at noon. Bye.